care who you are, if you're 8 years old or 80 years old, it's never too late. It's never too late. Don't listen to these people who want to put you in a box, pun intended. Don't listen to them. Be you. I don't care who you are, if you're 8 years old or 80 years old, it's never too late. It's never too late. Don't listen to these people who want to put you in a box, pun intended. Don't listen to
This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The thoughts, views shared here are just that, views. We just conversing, sharing perspective while having fun. So don't take this shit personal, and definitely don't try this at home. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's get to it.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for tuning in. You're far too kind. You could be anywhere in the world, but right now you click that thumbnail and you here with me. You know, we're going to do a rundown of the chaos this week, but I want to do something different on this episode. I usually shout out the cities that support me the most, or, you know, promote something, a brand or some music that I'm doing or whatever. But I want to do something different because the world is chaotic right now. I want to salute to the armed forces, the Army, the Navy, the Marines, you know, the Air Force, the people that is, you know, on edge right now, not knowing what tomorrow brings because we're currently in the war. I want to give y'all a round of applause. I want to salute y'all and say thank y'all for everything y'all do, sincerely, from the bottom of my heart. You know, some other people that I want to thank that has contributed to life being easily, you know, maneuverable in the United States is the TSA workers. Right now, they're not getting paid. You know, the government is acting crazy. They ain't prioritizing their own. Like how Trump administration said, it's America first. You know, that was capped. That's what it seemed like to the TSA workers. But I want to say, you know, I want to give y'all a round of applause off top because y'all just deserve it. I feel bad for that situation, and I hope, you know, some easing times ahead is on the way. Real talk. Also, I know it's people that's dealing with health issues. You know, life is real, man. A lot of this stuff that we consume is being sprayed with things that's harmful. You know, meats and stuff is being produced at an all-time high that's hurting people. People consuming too much sugar and salt, getting diabetes and high blood pressure and stuff like that. I want to commend the nurses. I want to commend the doctors, the people that have to go to work 8 hours a day and see people suffering from health issues. And I also want to salute to the people that's continuing to fight so they can leave a legacy and continue to live life. Let me give y'all a round of applause also. You know, during COVID, we heard about these people a lot, the essential workers. Right now, you hear a lot of people complaining, talking about they want to work from home, you know, or they want to do something more simpler and easier. And I understand it. But one thing I want to commend is the truck drivers. You know, the people that's pouring the concrete, that's working on highways and stuff like that. The essential workers, the people that's necessary. You know, a lot of these jobs and things aren't necessary because it isn't, you know, a demand for it, like our life depends on it type demand. So to the essential workers, let me give y'all a round of applause, real spill. Now, before I get into what the topics of discussion is going to be this week, because we got a plethora of them, I'm thankful for everybody that is tuned in to the show. Hit the like button off top to help us trigger the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you new here. You know, I'm an objective individual. I don't have no malice. This ain't no hate-a-thon. You know, a lot of people be hating. A lot of people get on these YouTube channels and get on their camera and, you know, get the hating off top. I created my podcast initially to be an audio platform, but then people were saying, Trey, you got to cut the camera on. We want to see how you really feel. We want to look in your eyes and see how you really feel about this stuff that you're talking about. So we're going to create the vibes. We're going to, you know, for the people that's riding, getting to the money or getting up early, you know, living life, we're going to create the vibes with the music first, and then we're going to get into the rundown of what the topics of discussion are. Let's go.
I get high, rolling down the I-95. Don't ask why, I love getting high while I drive. I can't lie, I puff fly. my V, take the clip out the ashtray, spark my trees, you know that haze weed. Backwood, roll tight, Belvedere, cranberry juice, mix light under 30% tint, riding bent, doing the quarter, smoking on what growing the water. My life in order, you know I got a pocket full of sticky. The whole BK, light a blunt up for Biggie and smoke out. I give a fuck if you got a skateboard or that new exo out. You blow the raw out and holler, I'ma survive or die. I'ma ride, cause they never take a nigga alive. I get high, rolling down the I-95, staring through the rear view from all the shit I survived. And as I ride by, I just tilt my hat, put the car on cruise and roll up another stack. I get high, rolling down the I-95. My, don't ask why, I love getting high while I drive. I can't lie, I puff fly while I drive down the I-95. I get high, rolling down the I-95. My, don't ask why, I love getting high while I drive. I can't lie, I puff fly while I drive down the I-95. You catch me rolling hay when I'm down in the bay. Hey, it don't stop. I light a blunt up for pop my collar, take another sip of that vodka, hit 3-wheel motion, Logan in the Impala on them 50 spokes, with 2 pounds to smoke, and the weed come clean, no sticks, no seed, straight bud, it keep the car weed scented. Mommy be like bleak, we can't breathe in it. Mommy keep cool, let me remove the roof, take a sip of that Belvy, and remove your shoes. But yeah, recline baby, smoke good lime baby, this the real green out the high times baby. We sitting on dub, know what that like? Twist the nut bud, mommy get your mind right. I get high, rolling down the I-95. Mine, don't ask why, I love getting high while I drive. I can't lie, I puff fly while I drive down the I-95. I get high, rolling down the I-95. Mine, don't ask why, I love getting high while I drive.
Shout out to Memphis Bleak, man. I like what you're doing over there with your podcast, man. The Rock Nation podcast, the Rock Boys, or whatever it's called. I know it's something affiliated with Rockefeller. This week, a lot has happened. Ye dropped Bully. You know, Usher defending Diddy. Druski is making crazy skits about conservative women. We're going to touch bases on that. J. Cole went on his press run. And, you know, we'll get to it. Also, I got to react to the new song from the Lox. I feel like the Lox is the greatest trio group of all time. We got to touch bases on the Verzuz conversation because, you know, Verzuz R&B hasn't happened in a while. And the Verzuz that happened previously before this, the one with Mike Will Made It and Hit Boy, it was a blowout. You know, I'm kind of tired of seeing Verzuz in Los Angeles also because the crowd in Los Angeles, everybody too good, everybody too fresh, everybody got it going on. Ain't nobody really like, you know, excited to see you perform. So we got some more topics. We're going to talk about the situation at the UN with Ghana's president and, you know, the reparations conversation. We're going to further that conversation. I want to talk about the firing of Hubert Davis at the University of North Carolina. I got to touch bases on that. You know, I don't like to use the word fan, but I've been a fan of the Tar Heels going on my whole life, to be honest with you. We got to touch bases on Tiger Woods and DUI. We talked about Justin Timberlake last week with the DUI stuff. And, you know, it was just interesting, man. It's just interesting to see these celebrities put themselves in that type of position when they can afford a driver. You know, a lot of people can't afford a driver, but some people like being by themselves. So, you know, it's just an interesting conversation we're going to have on that also. And, you know, let's get right to it. I want to start the podcast off with LaRussell. You know, them Jackson boys, we was talking about how LaRussell said things about Lil Wayne, like Lil Wayne really ain't saying nothing. What is he saying of substance? Does he have substance? But you know, that clip went viral, but if you play that, like I listen to things in its entirety. That's how I find the clips. Or I might see the clips in the short section on YouTube. I'd be like, oh, so he sat down with them, and I'll go look at the whole thing so I can get a total, you know, a total view of what's being said. And that clip went viral, but he was talking about how he really feels about Wayne, how Wayne is a dope artist and all of that. It's just that people want to have talking points when he said that Wayne didn't have no substance. But he's back in the news again. You know, he just released 2 albums, it seems like, so far this year. He went from independent to being down with Rock Nation, and now that he's down with Rock Nation, it seems like he's always in the media for some foolishness. So let's see what he's in the media for right now.
Tonight, a rally in support of Vallejo-born rapper LaRussell 2 weeks after his new song Heaven Sent was released and sparked viral outrage. LaRussell's mom, shocked by the response, hosted a rally to support her son.
I don't believe he's wrong. I believe people should take the time, listen to the song, and judge for themselves. Stop jumping on the bandwagon.
Even Martin was heaven sent. Even Kanye was heaven sent. Epstein too. We all heaven sent. Adolf too.
Those lyrics are sparking criticism of flooding social media. Many say the comparison placing Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X alongside Jeffrey Epstein and Adolf Hitler is tone deaf and inappropriate. Others argue the message ignores victims and their families. Journalist, hip-hop historian, and Professor Davey D says he understands the intent, but says it could have been delivered differently.
You know, Heaven Sent, I wouldn't have used it in the context in which he did, but I understood what he was saying. It's like, look, everything comes from God, and you have people who make these crazy decisions.
LaRussell dismissed the backlash as selective outrage. In a podcast, he said the lyrics were not meant to support those controversial figures, but to reflect artistic expression. Davey D believes some criticism may be fueled by those upset with his recent partnership deal with Rock Nation and people capitalizing for clicks and profit.
What is convoluting the waters is that there are people who don't even know him who are now weighing in. And that crowd of people, who knows where it will take things. It's given it a life of its own.
Supporters rallying behind the rapper like Jamal says his impact on the community is bigger than the backlash, including his impact on the youth and her son.
But his teacher made sure that he was able to go and meet LaRussell because it was his favorite artist, and LaRussell, not even knowing the circumstance of the day, blessed him with a monetary gift.
All of his songs, they're like giving us a message, and like they're very important to our whole community.
Supporter Lamont Jones says the backlash has opened up conversation on his timeline about faith.
Heaven sent doesn't mean heaven bound. You could be going to hell. You could be hell-bound. The backlash, to me, I feel like is the best part, is a lot of people want to know. They're opening up their Bible.
In Vallejo, Valina Jones, NBC Bay Area News.
You know, in Genesis 1:27, it says, God created humans in his image. Psalms 139:13, God forms each person in the womb. Jeremiah 1:5, before I formed you, I knew you. So heaven sit actually means that people was created by God. I think people are actually, causing an uproar about nothing significant, like nothing, like that wasn't, a bar that was complex or nothing. It's a simple thing. People are heaven sent no matter what they done while they was here, where they came from. Heaven sent means that's where you came from. Where you're going is a totally different thing. But while you're here in the middle, you're sent from heaven no matter what you did to Epstein, to Hitler, to Kanye West, or whatever you perceive about these people, they all heaven sent. I want to give LaRussell a round of applause for bringing that ideology to, a pop culture, because that makes people have to research and get an understanding. It sparks conversation. So I want to give him a round of applause. Real talk, His album is actually a dope album also. It's something that's kind of mature. I can see how people will be disgruntled about that, but when you are lacking knowledge, you disgruntled about everything when you lack knowledge, real talk. But he was on one of my favorite, new podcasts. I would still consider this new, with Gina and DJ Head, effective immediately. And he responded to this. He was talking about the fake outrage. I would have to agree with them on the outrage being fake, because when you lack knowledge, like I just said, man, you mad about everything. Real talk.
Me neither.
with that situation, with recently the Epstein and the heaven sent conversation, do you regret anything that you've done within that situation, like just as far as the song, the performance,
Not
from
at
the
all.
beginning, not listening to your engineer?
Not at all.
The way that you responded,
Not at all.
the way that you've been handling it this whole time.
Not at all.
No regrets at all.
None.
Do
No
you
regrets.
do you think you've said anything wrong?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is,
No.
is there a person who you, I don't want to say like who you look to for guidance, but is there somebody in your life that will hit you and call and like be like, "Hey, you tripping"?
The engineer.
Well, no, I'm talking about. I'm talking about like after the fact.
If I'm really tripping, yeah.
It's somebody in your okay. What did that person have to say about this?
These niggas stupid.
These niggas stupid.
Yep.
You got another person?
Nope. That's all it is.
That's it.
I think that it's fake outrage. And I think I'm an artist. I can make whatever art comes to me. I don't sit there and intentionally be like, I'm going to write about this person. Anybody who makes music, at a level where you really rapping about something, not just bullshit, but rapping about life, you know how that come to you. You feel me? And as an artist, it's our job to put art out into the world, however that may come. I don't have to change my art because it makes you uncomfortable, especially if I don't have evil intentions or malice or hurt anyone. You feel me? It's my art. But like I said, a nigga gonna find whatever they want to find when that's their goal.
His engineer and his closest friend told him that these niggas stupid. And a lot of people just want to get on platforms and speak, or their own platform speak and disagree with everything that's going on just to cause, some clicks, views, and likes, because outrage content is what's getting the most people to view. People that's agreeable or saying something knowledgeable ain't getting those type of clicks like that because they ain't hyped up about the dumb shit. But one thing I want to address, because I'm currently at the ending stage of creating my new album, is that, art is something unique that I feel like is the expression to express yourself, who you are, if people like it or not, is something that is very interesting, because people will change who they are or try to appease to people who don't like them anyway and write something that they feel as if the world will gravitate to, but it doesn't resonate with their soul. I would hate to be the artist who made a hit record that I don't like, that actually doesn't even identify with me. It's not even something that resonates with my soul. And it's a lot of people out here doing that. And I genuinely appreciate LaRussell for putting those lyrics down. Not saying that I agree with those lyrics, but putting those lyrics down and standing on it. Real talk. Let me give LaRussell a round of applause before we move on to the next conversation. Real spill. I want to talk about Druski before I play the skit and I react to the skit and play a couple of celebrities talking about the skit and laws and legalities, because it's all over social media that Erica Kirk is trying to have him sued or something done with this skit that I feel like it wasn't even bashing her. Druski do content based upon what he sees in the world. And if he sees something, he even do black folks. He did the Hebrew Israelites. He did the white boy in the hood. He do a lot of things. He did the NASCAR white boy. This is real life. He did the black church as of recently, and it went super mega viral. Now he did the conservative white woman, and people are taking it as if this widow is, hurt by this or whatever. And I feel like it's fake outrage, just like LaRussell said, and his people trying to get him counseled. This is fake outrage, but let's check out the skit before I continue on with my commentary.
Get on your feet, boy! We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers. And we are all his children. But when I say children, I mean like the holy, blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic pop cup.
Organic?
Yes, everything organic.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free?
4, 3, 7. Oh, are you good? 4, 3, 2. Hold your chest lifted. We're gonna lift.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs. Yes, because they are the ones who mattered most.
Hey, Druski, hell, boy. That was funny to me, but it was real, though. When he did the black church, people was up in arms about that, but that's exactly how they portrayed to be. That tithe money, they dancing and hollering and locking people in the church until they give a certain amount of money, locking folks up. That's just how it is. And, conservative women, y'all extra. Y'all just extra. I don't know what it is about y'all, but y'all extra. And conservative white women at that. But what's crazy about that is that I want to show y'all the similarities before I move on.
Because you're a young man, especially a young white male man. Don't ever let anyone talk down to you. We need strong men out there.
Hey, what did Druski do that was wrong? He did, what she's showing. A lot of people have been aware that Erica Kirk's behavior has been weird since her husband was assassinated, Charlie Kirk. And it seems as if she put herself in a position to take over the Turning Point, company that he created and he started. Candace Owens is doing, it seems like, a documentary daily talking about this couple. It seems like, they say that her and Charlie Kirk was friends, but it seems to me that it might have been more than that. This is all an assumption. I don't know nothing. But Erica Kirk has been on some sort of, creepy type timing, like her eyes and stuff. You can see it's something going on with the eyes to me. And at the funeral, how she was acting and hugging on J.D. Vance and talking and the fake tears and stuff. And the Super Bowl performance, when they did the Super Bowl halftime show that a lot of people is defending, was crazy to me, though. But everything that Druski did, I can't see why people would think to cancel Druski. He had 154 million views off of that skit in just 2-3 days. Druski is a very talented individual, and I feel like he's going to continue on agitating people with real life content. But Erica Kirk put out a tweet where she was talking about she got to have something done with this, because if she would have been in blackface, people would have been talking about canceling her. And cancellation nowadays is super lame to me. I talk about it a lot of times on this channel though, but cancellation is lame because you can't really cancel a human. And who are individuals to be talking about canceling somebody? You're actually lame to be that bothered by another person's actions. You can be aware of them, but to say they canceled or all of this, that's just weird to me. But I wanna play this of Uncle Luke reacting to that tweet from Erica Kirk, and he was talking about legalities. You know, Uncle Luke's supposed to be running for some sort of office down there in Florida. Let's hear what he got to say.
Yo, what up? This is your boy Uncle Luke. Let me show you my shit. Luke for Congress. I'm running for Congress, but it's not about me running for Congress right now. It's about parody. It's about Druski. It's about Afro Man. Let me just say this. Parody is protected by the First Amendment. So what Druski did on the video is what I fought all the way to the Supreme Court for. Yeah, me. Yeah, spent millions of dollars because I had a case, Luther Campbell versus Acuff Rose, which is Roy Orbison. We did a parody of the song Old Pretty Woman. They took us to court. We went all the way up to the Supreme Court. I ain't gonna tell you the whole story. But I fought for the right for comedians to be able to do parodies. I fought for the right for people like Druski to be able to do what he's doing on the record. I fought for the right for Afro Man to be able to do what he did as a parody and as a song when the officers went into his house, raided his place, and he was able to do a song and poke fun at these individuals, and we all laugh. Once you laugh, it is considered a parody. And at the end of the day, people, these are the things that people like myself fight for. And that's why I'm a born fighter. It wasn't a thing about me going to jail or anything. It was about what's right. It was about the protection of the Constitution, the protection of free speech. Artists being able to do what they want to do and say what they want to say on record at any given time. That's why Saturday Night Live, they filed a brief in my behalf, in my case. And so, again, we're here to allow artists to be able to say the things that they want to say on the record. And we're here to fight for comedians to be able to make parodies, satire, and all those beautiful things. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, yours truly, Uncle Luke. You want to know why I'm running for Congress? Because I am a born fighter. If I fought for the industry, you think I'm not going to fight for my district?
Hey, salute to Uncle Luke, real talk. You know, I remember a time when Luke was releasing music and they was trying to take his album off the shelf. And the reason we use the explicit lyric, logo on albums nowadays to let children or the youth know that this content is explicit is because of Uncle Luke. He got that passed. They was trying to take him off the shelves. Nowadays, people can do the parodies. They can curse and do horrorcore rap and do crazy things. The rock bands and all of that who be doing that type of wild, crazy, deaf music and chanting and stuff, they are all capable of doing that because of Uncle Luke. Let's give them one more time now. You know, creators should be able to create, even if you like it or if you don't like it. I don't see how this could hinder Erica Kirk because this is her actions and people seeing those actions, in real time without the parody. It's just that Druski made that shit funny, man. Salute to Druski, man. You dope, dog. Real talk, you dope, you dope, you dope. We're going to move along in the conversation, though. Switch the topic up. I got an article I want to read to y'all and chop it up with y'all on this article. This is Tiger Woods. He was in a DUI. I think it was in California somewhere in 2017 and had an accident. It seemed like Tiger Woods got alcoholic issues. He has anger issues and things like that. We talked about Justin Timberlake and his DUI last week. What's going on with these celebrities and drinking? I gave y'all my story of me getting a DUI last week also because it's serious, man. DUIs is something serious and people could lose their life behind drinking and driving. I feel like I will never get behind a vehicle and drink ever again. I will start consuming my wine or my alcohol or whatever I'm doing when the night is running down and I'm not about to come outside no more. This is not something to play with. Real talk. So before I get into this article and stuff, you know, the footage came out, the body cam footage. We're going to check that out. We're going to give a take. We're going to give our perspective. You know, Tiger Woods is one of the greatest athletes of all time. You know, to me, it's Usain Bolt, it's Michael Jordan, it's Tom Brady, it's Tiger Woods, it's Mike Tyson, Floyd Mayweather. You know, those are the great individuals to me of all time in sports. And Tiger is one of those guys, man. But let's get into the body footage from the police and see what's going down.
Okay. It's your other shoe that's untied, man. Well, now that one is too. What's that?
That one.
Yeah, all right, here. Go ahead and bring your leg down. I just don't want you to fall over. Here, you just kick your shoes off right over here. Do you remember what happened when my partner came up behind you? Do you remember being asleep in the car? You don't? All right, I don't want you to move your head, okay? I want you to keep your head still, your arms down by your side and your feet together, okay? Following the red light with your eyes and your eyes only, okay? Do you understand the instructions as I read them to you? Can you verbalize your answer, please?
Follow the light.
Okay. All right, I need you to follow the light. All right, you're not even looking at the light.
Following the light.
You're not even moving. Okay, what I want you to do, okay, is I want you to put your left foot. Do you know your left from your right?
Yeah.
Okay, what I want you to do is put your left foot on that white line, just like this, okay? So look at my feet.
Yeah.
All right, and then you're gonna put your right foot with your heel touching your toe directly in front, okay? So just like this, okay?
Yeah.
Can you go ahead and get to that position? Left foot and then right foot with your heel touching your toe of your left foot. All right, make your right foot heel touch your toe. I'm gonna steal the toe. I'm gonna steal the toe. I'm gonna steal the toe. Stepped offline. Stepped offline. I'm gonna steal the toe. Do you understand the instructions?
I do.
Okay, what were the instructions?
Not to sing the national anthem backwards.
Not to sing the national anthem backwards?
Man, what?
The ABCs from A to Z in a slow, non-rhythmic manner, okay?
Wait a minute.
You may begin when you're ready. Mr. Woods, you don't have to walk anywhere.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead and stand with your feet together and your arms down by your side.
Oh.
I'll try this. All right, go ahead and release your hands for me. All right, go ahead and put your hands together just like this. Perfect. Okay.
Oh, what is this one for?
Just relax, okay?
I'm relaxing.
Okay, go ahead and step right in front of my patrol car for me. All right, go ahead and spread your feet for me. Do you have anything on you that's going to poke me, prick me, stick me, or cut me?
No.
Keep her off quick.
Tiger was funk. And that didn't look like a couple of alcoholic beverages funk. That looked like some pills or something like that. This is all an assumption. I'm not clarifying anything. I'm assuming. But it looked like he was on some sort of medical condition. You know, he has had a lot of back problems and a lot of health issues from playing golf. And I know he probably takes things to numb the pain. He's in his 50s. I think he's in his 50s or his late 40s, something like that. We might be similar age. I'm 46, but I don't know. Tiger seemed like he might be 48, 49. I don't know his exact age, though, but that looked like pills. I'm going to tell y'all something about aging. It ain't fun. You got to stay in that gym. You got to focus on that flexibility, and you got to stay hydrated, bitch. Real talk. One thing I can tell y'all that I'll never do again is put myself in a position to have to do that DUI test, to have to walk that line like that and give off the perception that I'm tipsy, because he was faded. And it's a lot of people that can't even do that test sober. And I want to get into this article and read a piece of this article because I really didn't know what was going on, though. They say Tiger Woods arrested for DUI again. What Florida law really means for him now, and the elite lawyers who fight these type of cases. 3 days after stepping back into competitive golf courses for the first time in nearly 2 years, Tiger Woods is in handcuffs. It's almost Master season 2, man. I would love to see him win again, though, but man, it's about over. It's over. It might be over. On Friday afternoon, just before 2 p.m., the most recognizable golfer on the planet climbed out of the passenger window of his overturned Range Rover on South Beach Road in Jupiter Island, barely 4 miles from his $54 million home. By nightfall, his booking photo was everywhere. By morning, the legal questions had already overtaken the sports news. Wow. 2 p.m. That looked like that was nighttime. This is the story of what happens next. And because this is Florida and because this is a medication-related DUI, what did I say? That did not look like alcohol. That looked like he was on a pack of pills. The second time Woods has been down this exact road. It's a story where the quality of legal representation is not a luxury. It's the whole ball game. How it happened. The facts is laid out by Martin County Sheriff John at a Friday evening press conference are not dispute. Driveway, a pickup truck towing a pressure cleaning trailer was traveling north on the narrow 2-lane South Beach Road, slowing to a turn into a driveway. Woods' dark Land Rover came up from behind at speed. He attempted to pass. The SUV clipped the back of the trailer, tipped onto its driver's side, and slid alongside the road before stopping. The truck driver was uninjured. Woods, 50, crawled out through the passenger door without physical injuries. Wow. What came next is where the legal complexity begins. DUI investigators responded to the scene and quickly observed what Busnick described as signs of impairment. Woods appeared lethargic. He offered the deputies an explanation. The back surgeries, the leg surgeries, the Achilles repair, the medication, a breathalyzer was administered. It returned triple zeros. No alcohol whatsoever. When investigators request a urine test, the standard method for detecting prescription drugs and other substances, Woods refused. Ooh, he might beat this. No drugs or medications were found in the vehicle. He was arrested, charged with DUI and property damage and refusal to submit to a lawful test, both misdemeanors under Florida law, and transported to Martin County Jail, where state statute required him to be held for a minimum of 8 hours. He was released just before 11 p.m., having been kept separate from the general population. Busnick was characteristically direct. He'll pay the price, but he's not going to pay the price by getting hurt in jail. The sheriff added without elaboration that the crash could have been catastrophic had there been somebody moving in the opposite direction. We would not be having a conversation saying there was no injuries. This could have been a lot worse. Ooh. President Trump, who described Woods as a close friend and had just days early publicly said Woods would not play in this year's Master Tour, reported, "I feel so badly. He got some difficulty. There was an accident, and that's all I know. Very close friend of mine. He's an amazing person." 2026 is not 2017, not even close. Were any casualty comparisons to Woods' previous DUI arrest runs out of road. Remember, Tiger has had a history of car crashes as well as golf wins. In May 2017, Palm Beach County deputies found Woods unconscious behind the wheel of a Mercedes on Military Trail in Jupiter. So this happened in the same place and just 9 years apart. When he woke up, he was barely coherent. A toxically report later revealed 5 substances in his system: Vicodin, Dilude, Xanax, Ambien, and THC. A pharmacological catalog of a man managing chronic pain with whatever had been subscribed. There was no crash, no other vehicle involved. No one was in danger except Woods himself. Wow. You know, I don't even want to continuous reading this because this is talking about, what happened in 2017. But I do want to read this part, the real cost of a Florida DUI conviction. So for a first-time DUI conviction in Florida or a second arrest where prior diversion applies, fines minimum $500 up to $1,000, jumps up to $1,000 to $2,000 if BAC was 0.15 or above, or a minor was present. Jail up to 6 months, up to 9 months with aggravated factors. Licensing suspension, minimum revocation of 180 days to 1 year. Automatic upon arrest with a 10-day challenge window. Probation up to 12 months. Community service mandatory 50 hours. DUI school level 1 course and substance abuse evaluation mandatory. Ignition interlock device required for high BAC or repeated adjacent cases at the driver's expense. Vehicle impound up to 10 days. That's kind of minimum in comparison to where I'm at. I'm in the Carolinas and they would throw you in a garbage can for a DUI. Real talk. What I want to say though, I want to get off of this and then closing, what I want to say to Tiger Woods is that life's short, dog. You know, I know you up $1 billion. You can have any driver at your beck and call instantly. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel bad. Real talk. I feel bad behind this situation because, you know, if these things continuously happen, if he feel like he can travel intoxicated, one time that we heard from this again, it might not be the same outcome. He might not be alive. This continuously happen, man. You know, Tiger, get you some help, man. Real talk. Those laws ain't gonna change nothing. They ain't strict enough. And it seems like he's gonna beat it by all the circumstances that we just read. It seems like he's gonna beat it. Let's move along in the conversation though, man. Hope Tiger Woods get well. Real talk. Oh, so this topic of discussion we about to discuss is Usher. He had an interview on Forbes. Usher had an interview on Forbes and he was talking Diddy. You know, we're going to play a couple of clips. Diddy's name hasn't been mentioned in the news a lot lately. People ain't been talking about him. It's been silent on Diddy after the case. And after the documentary that 50 Cent put out, it been quiet on Diddy. But Usher had something to say, and I want to know y'all take on this also.
This might be a bit controversial, but in the same way, I think many people choose to look past the reality of what our country is, the standards that we now stand on. We can't ignore the reality of the history, but in many ways, I think certain people are prosecuted and maybe not recognized for the greatness, you know, that they offer. I don't have anything negative to say about Sean Combs because my experience was not what the world has seen and how he's been, you know, misrepresented. I'm not saying that every man is perfect. I'm not saying that all of us don't have flaws, but I can't, with any sense of humanity, not recognize the valuable contributions that this man made for us as Black entrepreneurs, for us as businessmen, for us as people who transition, you know, culture and ideas into something that's tangible and becomes business. So many people benefited from what he created, and I acknowledge that. And that's why I see him as legacy.
Yeah. You told Shannon Sharp you learned a lot about business during that era.
Absolutely.
What'd you learn?
Puff was a mentor, but he was like a, you know, you have that really, really hard teacher, you know, but you're watching something in real time. You know, I think that the idea of the level of discipline that came with that time in business especially in an era that was trying to prove itself culturally in hip hop. Now, you can't turn on the television and not see the influence of hip hop.
That's right.
But
You know, I seen a lot of people reacting to that clip, talking about the misrepresented piece, talking about the business side of Diddy and the influence of Diddy. What I want to say to that is that misrepresented is interesting that he would use that type of terminology, because I feel like what's being misrepresented. You know, we seen the videotape. He didn't mention nothing about that tape with Cassie. You know, he's stuck on the business side. And some people will say that, you know, folks are nitpicking these conversations, but you know, we all know what Diddy did in the business side. You may have learned a lot from him, Usher, but what did you learn that was good? Be more specific, because all of the people that was in business with him complained about him. So what did you learn that was beneficial? You know, we noticed that you signed a few artists. You was just recently arguing with Justin Bieber out in public. I don't know what that was about, though, but when I think about business, I think about Diddy hindering people's life and career and getting them in bad contracts. I don't know what your situation was, and you may have seen different. And he did lay out a blueprint for success, but was that success a positive success? And what's being misrepresented? Like, you saying a lot, but you're not being specific about what was being misrepresented. That was just interesting to me. And I feel like Usher is, you know, a hell of an artist. He just performed at the Super Bowl and everything, but it seemed to be a tide turning with Diddy, where people don't want to kick him while he's down. People only want to speak on the positive aspect of him, but they ain't getting specific. They just speaking positive in general. Me, I'm the same way. I like to speak positive about people, period. I don't like to bring up the negativity all the time or speak about negative things on my platform. And not just Usher this week was talking about Diddy, but Cole was talking about Diddy also, and his incident that went viral, where people was talking about, did you have a fight with Diddy? You know, they said that at one time Cole was defending Drake and he had a fight with Diddy. But let's see what Cole had to say, because he's been outside a lot. He's been talking a lot, and I just want to get into the conversation. Keep the flow going.
Well, yeah, explain that.
Nah, you know what? I damn near wish I could, because it's such an ill story.
Right.
You know what I mean? But matter of fact, we did a podcast, me and Eve,
okay,
like a year and a half ago, where we kind of ran through like the first part of my career up until Forest Hills Drive.
Right.
And we had a bonus episode that was the whole episode was just about that night.
Okay.
And that altercation, right?
Right.
And we was gonna put it out, because at that time, you know what I mean? Like me and Puff, like we hadn't had no problem for years. Even after that, like it was cleaned up quick and we was in a good spot.
Right.
But you know, Puff was on the song that I had on off season, and like, so we was gonna put it out thinking like, yo, it's cool. Like, enough time has passed, he ain't gonna feel no way, boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And then all the shit happened with him.
Right.
And I was just like, nah, it felt like damn near like kicking a man when he's down.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It was like, it would have gave the news and the world more ammo.
I got what you're saying.
Just destroy this dude.
Yeah, it wasn't a good time to put it out.
It wasn't a good time. So similarly right now, it's like, I want to tell it because it's ill, but I'm like, nah.
But it did happen.
Oh, no, it happened. It happened.
You know, that's considerate. Just thinking about that, he had a physical altercation with this man, but he was considerate of his situation and not, you know, piling on. Because it's people piling on, and it's people that will kick you while you down. It's people that get a kick out of kicking you while you down. But this Diddy situation, I felt like he was targeted, even though a lot of things happened. But the time that he received for the things that they presented in that courtroom, I felt like he should have walked home, man, free. A lot of people felt like he should have got the chair, but I feel like a lot of those females was willing participants, and they benefited from it. And Cassie also contributed to crimes also. Real talk, man. You know, we'll see what comes from this Diddy situation. I can't wait to hear him speak when he gets out of jail and talk about all of the things that has transpired since he has been arrested. And I'm just looking forward to that, man. Let's move along in the conversation, but we're going to keep it bad boy. You know, this group that I'm about to talk about was originally signed to Bad Boy. To me, it's the dopest trio of all time. They just released the song. They debuted the song on Joe and Jada. You know, one of the members is a host on the Joe and Jada show, Jada Kiss. And this is the Locks. You know, they got a song with Jaheim. I ain't seen Jaheim outside or on no good records in a while. I know he went vegan or whatever and started looking crazy, though. But we about to react to this record and see what these boys talking about, because this is the dopest trio of all time, man. Let's get into the reaction. Let's go, let's go, let's go. This is Never Change featuring Jaheim and Trent Shelton.
Understand, it's not about the size of your circle. It's about the loyalty that's in it. You see, nothing can stop a squad that's dedicated to fighting for the same mission, focused on the same vision. Does your circle got that type of commitment? Are they happy for you when you win it? Or is it the more you do better, the more their love gets distant?
I told my brothers from the jump, I got love for you both. And all them niggas looking up to us is watching our growth. And all them hating motherfuckers, not even close. And all that money on the gram they show is not what they gross. Got a nice family at home, but that's not who they post. Ain't too many real niggas like us left on the coast. You know, I'm supposed to make you proud, not hate me. If I ain't around, pray for me. I'm hearing bullshit lately. Why this energy feels so funny? Like you lent the nigga Rockefeller startup money. When you was moving weight, you ain't know a nigga. Now every time we talk, you call me big bro. Hey, yo, big bro, hit me I was ready, but you didn't want to show a nigga. So we gon' keep it like that from the get-go. I ain't smoking, I ain't drinking with you at my show. You can't get close enough to find out what you need to know, nigga.
All those feelings changing from love right into hate. Oh, it's hard to take it when friends turn into fake. Oh, you're like a stranger now. Couldn't see it going that way. I thought that things would never change. Never change, never change.
If it ain't Lucci Kiss, I'm expecting to flip. I never take it personal, I'm accepting the shit. Yeah, I tried to give them jewels, they neglected the shit. Never put me in a place of holding weapons and shit. Yeah, I'm living off experience. Told you I'm a Jedi. I can smoke a J and touch the top of the pyramids. Fuck with the Trinity, die. Dead serious. I still remember the oath, I'm not delirious. Group never broke up. This game you can soak up. Before rap, we kept straps and blew coke up. Know you heard the stories, couple niggas was poked up. Fuck about your money, my nigga, hold your loc up. Yeah, is it love if it ain't love? It's bigger than dirty money, your bank stubs. Showed y'all niggas loyalty, thank us. Above number one when you rank us.
All the feelings changing from love right into hate. Oh, it's hard to take it when friends turn into fake. Oh, you're like a stranger now. Couldn't see it going that way.
They done seen us.
I thought that things would never change. Never change, never change.
Our dreams turned to reality, then came to a halt. It was part of the business, though it wasn't our fault. Times got darker, we just got brighter. The love got faker, and we just got tighter. Back against the wall, shit, we was all fighters. Hustle all day, studio, all-nighters. We was skipping class, chipping in for gas. 89 regular, etc., etc. Nobody else got us, we got us. Money can't divide us, we came from the riders. Drop the soft in the pot, the hard rises. GPS start acting up, then God guides us. Yup, I catch a bullet for my niggas. If I got it and I up it, I'ma pull it for my niggas. Yeah, if they around, then I know I'm covered. Real brothers and our mothers really know each other.
All the feelings changing from love right into hate. Oh, it's hard to take it when friends turn into fake. Oh, you're like a stranger now. Couldn't see it going that way. I thought that things would never change. Never change, never change. Oh no. Never change, never change. Never change, never change. Never change, never change.
Let me give them boys a round of applause. Real talk. Salute the Sheik Luch, Styles Peter Ghost, Jada Kiss, The Locks, D Block, Jaheim, hell of a record. You know, that record had soul to it. That was a real record. I like that he said we real brothers and our mothers really know each other. Jada Kiss, flawless verse. I would like to see the Locks release a new album. It's needed. You know, ageism in hip hop was a thing around 2023, 2024. But I realized and learned that people that talks about older individuals is just young, dumbass niggas that don't know how to articulate themselves, and they use age as a weapon to minimize somebody's creativity or who somebody is as a person. That's outdated now. You got to come with something different, dog, because the OGs is releasing the best music, you know, from the Clips, you know, to Nas and Mass Appeal and all that they did, releasing new Mobb Deep albums, and even J. Cole, 42 years old, he released a phenomenal project. Jada Kiss, the Locks, them boys, man, that was a dope record, man. That's all I gotta say. I would like for y'all to get in the comment section though, and tell me your favorite record or favorite album from the Locks, favorite freestyle, favorite battle, diss, or whatever from the Locks, because them boys cold. That's all I'm going to say. Them boys is cold. Now, let's get back into this J. Cole conversation, because he went on his press run this week. He went to 7 p.m. in Brooklyn, pulled up the Red Hook to be able to talk to Carmelo Anthony and his crew. He went to Vegas also, sat down with Cameron. I don't got too many clips from that, because that was them talking about the lawsuit that Cameron put out on J. Cole for the first 45 minutes, and then they got into a little bit of the hip-hop commentary, and I'm only there for the music, to be honest with you. I could care less about these lawsuits and this beef and stuff. And his perception of the best, you know, I also want to play Joey Badass response and some of his tweets. I want to read some of his tweets, because I feel like his tweets is significant when it talks about lyricism and hip hop, and why Cole wasn't on JID's phenomenal album in 2025, and why Cole didn't have JID on his album. It's interesting to sign an artist and not put your artist in position to win. But let's get to this first clip. This is him talking about, you know, 7-minute drill was made out of fear.
Right.
Like, I wish I could tell you that competitiveness made me do that, put out that song. That wasn't competitive, nigga. That was straight fear. That was a bozo move. Like, because actually, I knew as I'm doing that song and as I'm recording that song and I'm putting it out, man, this is just enough to look like I did something. And that's my man. Like, he gonna probably give me 1 or 2 lines. He might give me a little verse, boom, boom. And I was willing to just take that. I just wanted to get past this moment so I could get to the album.
Mm-hmm.
So like, that's not competitive. That's far from competitive, nigga. That's. I wish I could tell you it was competitiveness. I'll be a little more proud, you know what I mean, if that was competitiveness. But that wouldn't look like that.
Would you have decided differently if the order was reversed? Like if the album was out and then all this happened, would you let your competitive spirit sort of take over? Or the album was that important to get out first?
It depends though, because like, it's also weird because I know how I feel about this man, you know what I mean? Like, and I know how he feel about me, at least, you know, through our communications and our dealings. It's like, damn, like, you know, I know how we feel about each other. So I know it's not actually a problem there.
For sure.
So what does competitiveness look like when you know you ain't got a problem with somebody? But then you also, at the same time, are lumped in with somebody that you might actually have a problem with. You know what I mean? And I'm not lumped in because you necessarily said, fuck me. But that's a great area in itself. So to your point, you're basically asking like, yo, if the fall off was out and then that happened, would my competitiveness had like kicked in, or would I have been more willing to like, quote unquote, compete?
Right.
Well, then it depends on what you call competition. Cause it's like, yo, would I have been willing to take it where they took it? With him or him? Absolutely not. Like, if that's competitiveness, I for sure would have lost. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't have been willing to take it there. And if I was willing to take it there, it only would have been because I was worried about what the world gonna say. So then even if I did take it there and somehow demolish or boom, 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 I still lost.
The fear.
Because and my heart would be feeling like, nigga, you did that so that people would say that you better.
You know, I listened to Cole, and I've been reacting to him on his press run for the previous 3 weeks. And I'm kind of fatigued. I'm just here to tell y'all. He is an overthinker. Listening to him speak on these platforms, he's an overthinker. Drake and Kendrick Lamar just reacted. They didn't care about the outcome. This is my friend. We haven't even heard Kendrick Lamar get on platforms and even talk about these brothers. The winner gets all the spoils. He don't even got nothing to say. It ain't nothing that needs to be said. Cole is on these platforms explaining himself. I see why certain artists don't do interviews. Sit there and explain themselves. And I'm starting to look at Cole differently, man. You know, I'm here in the Carolinas. I can feel the music that he creates. I feel like he is the best rapper right now and has been for the last, I would say, 3 to 4 years. You know, Kendrick took over that last year with GNX and he did the Super Bowl and the diss tracks and all of that. But in totality, I fancies Cole's music more. I just do. I just can't help it. I fancy his music more. But what I want to say is that these interviews is starting to make me look at him different. Now, I want to, you know, react to this tweet that Joey Badass put out about J. Cole's artist, JID. He had something to say. We're going to read the tweet. You know, he said that, think about it. If somebody at the top gave somebody coming up an opportunity to come after them on a record, you know what will happen? Niggas is eating their food off top. Rent is due. Bills is paid expeditiously. Public perception of who the best would drastically different if this was a regular occurrence. This is exactly why you didn't see JID on the fall off. He would have overstood the assignment. To me personally, it made no sense he wasn't on there. But hey, maybe that's just me. By the way, I love the album. But let's be for real. You know, Cole did JID a disservice. I ain't gonna cap to y'all at all. He did him a disservice. This brother is Cole. His album, if I listen to him back to back, I don't know whose is better. To be honest with you, even though Cole's was a double disc, you can tell he's the more seasoned veteran artist and everything. JID was rapping his ass off. And for him to not feature on JID's album, that which could evolve his career, and him not have JID on his album, it's a sign to me that something is going on in the camp. It's some sort of disgruntled behavior that's going on. And JID ain't mentioning it. He's still been championing Cole on all of his interviews. When he went on the Joe Budden podcast, he was championing Cole. He said he think that y'all gonna like the fall off before it even dropped and everything. And he also said that they got an album together, but Cole trying to make it, I don't know what it is at the end of the day, but I agree with Joey Badass. You know, competition, Cole just got through talking about competition. He bowed out of the competition from the 7-minute drill situation. You know, I compete with myself to be better than I was yesterday. When you're younger, you compete with your partners and stuff. I'm 46 now. But I'm more into collaborating, evolving, seeing each other win. I couldn't be in the position that Cole is in because I would want JID to drop a better album than me because he's up under me. I would want his best. I would want him during your time with me throughout your career. You didn't create nothing better than this while you was here. So you can go anywhere else in the world, but you know that I valued your creativity so much. Your best was created here. And it doesn't seem like Cole is standing like that. That's why Ari Lennox left. It seemed like people are leaving Dreamville instead of staying. I would like to see what Earth Gang is going to do here in the future. But let's get along into this next clip. This was, you know, I don't know who the brother is that is with Carmelo Anthony on his 7 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast, but he asked him about him saying that he's the best and the internet talking about you can't come back after that beef talking that you the best shit, you the GOAT and all of this. you know, after you bowed out of competition. So Cole had this to say about being the best.
That's some in the beginning, how like on songs, like how I say I'm the best on songs. It's like, ask me in real life, do I think I'm the best rapper alive?
Do you think you're the best rapper alive?
Bro, it's a nigga named Black Thought that exists. It's a nigga named Lupe Fiasco that exists. It's niggas that on any given day, even my peers, a Drake or a Kendrick, where it's like, yo, I know on any given day I can show up to the studio and give these niggas 80. But I know they can show up on any day in the studio and give me 80. And I might only have 30. Like, so if I'm taking on a rap persona, like when I'm rapping, of course, that's what I like to, that's how I like to rap. And guess what? Sometimes I hit the mark and I say shit and I spit a verse that really might have you believe in that shit. But if you ask me in real life, do I walk around like I'm the best rapper alive? No, nigga. Like I'm the best ever? No. But when I put on that motherfucking cape, like that's how I try to attack shit. And have there been things and moments and verses where I'm writing this shit and I'm like, I know niggas not fucking with this. Absolutely. But in reality, do I walk around this earth like there's no nigga better than me in real life? Like I can't get in the studio with Black Thought and he just give me 90. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there like, I got 25 for you. You know what I mean? Or any one of these amazing rappers. But I think people hear me say it because they don't know me for real.
Right.
They hear me say it in a verse so much when I have on the cape.
It sounds convincing like a motherfucker.
It sounds convincing because I'm really doing that shit that's going to have a nigga like, man, he think nigga. No, you think.
You know, that's interesting that he said the cape, because I always talk about when you get in that booth, you turn into a superhero, an elevated version of yourself. It becomes an elevated version because you want to sway the perception that you're the greatest. And I could never do what he just did publicly. I might tell somebody they better than me privately, but publicly, I will never say it's another artist better than me. And I'm standing on that as somebody who has never made it and somebody who the world don't even know who I am. But musically, I'll get in the booth with any one of these niggas. Jay-Z, Nas, 50, Snoop, Tip, the greatest, Weezy, and smoke them niggas. And I'm saying that publicly. But privately, I might say something different. But, you know, is that fake of me by doing that? I don't think so. I just think that that's just who I am as a person. Cole has went on these press runs and exposed that he's just a nice guy. And some of this nice guy stuff is starting to seem like it's cap. You know, lyricism. I want to talk about lyricism for a minute because we're going to read another one of these Joey Badass tweets where he was talking about camaraderie in hip hop. And, you know, J. Cole was just talking about the perception that he's the best, and he gives off these verses that seems very convincing that he could possibly be the best. You know, he mentioned Lupe Fiasco. He mentioned Black Thought. I want to say one thing that I don't like about lyricists, before I read this Joey Badass tweet, is that the best lyricists, the best artists rarely collab. You know, it be the dudes that's talking the street language, collaborating a lot, or the ones that make the girly records. They collaborate a lot. Or the niggas that's rapping swag and drip and flavor and all of that type of music, they collaborate. But you don't never see barsmiths and wordsmiths come together and create something phenomenal. It was said before Nas dropped this project with Premier that Nas was going to do a song with Black Thought and Kendrick Lamar. It's always a war when a couple of lyricists get together on the song to spit. And I think that's what moves the culture forward. You know, Jay-Z just recently announced on his GQ interview that he don't know if battle rap is necessary no more. Beefing and all of that, because people take it too far after this Kendrick and Drake beef. Now, competitive rap and competing and battling to see who's the best on a record and collaboration, that is something that I feel like could evolve the game. Sincerely. it can evolve the game. But let me go ahead and read this tweet of what Joey Badass had to say about lyricists, and we're going to continue on with the conversation. Everybody talks about how we shouldn't beef and how we should spar more on records. But the truth is, niggas don't be wanting to collab out of fear of getting bodied on their own record. I seen a lot of niggas over the years duck that friendly fade. Check my track record. I never been one of those to shy away from collabing with real spitters, whether that be getting on niggas' own tracks or hopping on niggas' tracks. Not to mention coming up in a collective of straight fire MCs. I would say though, it's easy to show up on somebody else's track when the bar is already set and all you got to do is meet it or better. But I say all this to say, that's why sometimes niggas catch strays, because they be ducking smoke and they be gatekeeping the top spot. Before you drag me, this just shit I've witnessed in my experience. I didn't come here to bash nobody or throw shade. This is just my 2 cents on the ongoing convo. Lyrical rap is the hardest subgenre of rap music because there's hardly any camaraderie. There's not one single known popular lyricist I haven't at some point extended an olive branch to. You know what's interesting about that, besides the camaraderie conversation, is that he was talking about niggas ducking smoke and gatekeeping the top spot. I respect Kendrick Lamar on that GNX project because he put people on there that was not known. But that could be to real lyricists gatekeeping the top spot because, you know, me, I'm not backing down from getting smoked on a record. Me, if I was coming out with my debut album and I wanted to have the best rap album of all time, I'm going to go get the Ballsmiths on there. I'm going to put Nas and Cole on a song together. I'm going to get a song with Black Thought, Hove, Big Sean, Lupe Fiasco. I'm going to get the niggas that's really, really spazzing on shit on my album because I'm about to spaz. This is a spaz competition. You know, we spitting. But when you look at these people albums nowadays, they don't have no other Ballsmiths on there. They trying to hold on to that top spot as long as they possibly can because it's profitable. Real talk, man. I got one more clip. You know, I think I got one more clip. Yeah, I got one more clip on this J. Cole interview run, and we're going to get on into reacting to Kanye West's album, Real Talk.
I did get conflicted at times in the battle because I'm like, but creatively, that's not my place.
Right.
But as a critic of like culture, which that word is fucking weird because it's like, nigga, this shit is algorithm based, nigga. This shit is paid campaigns on niggas,
right?
Positive or negative. But my criticism on the culture is like, ew, like I hate what y'all try to do to this man, right? Like, you know what I mean? And I hope y'all fail, you know what I mean? And I'm glad to see y'all fail. So it's like I hate to speak on it because it's like I know they're gonna take it a certain way, but that's genuinely my truth. You know what I mean? Like that's genuinely my truth.
Right. You just told us how you feel about them being arson. I don't know Kendrick, a big fan of his music, but Drake's my man, so I totally feel exactly how you feel, what you just said. And it was a good moment for Kendrick, like you said. And I like his music too. I'm a fan, but as Drake being my friend, it was fucked up.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. And so if I put myself in Drake's shoes, even to hear me say, like, I'm happy for Kendrick in a sense. Right. I would, if I'm him, I'm gonna feel like, damn, nigga. Right. But I love this nigga too.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't like that he's doing it with a whole crowd like shitting on you. I don't like that. You know what I mean? But shit, that's not my place to necessarily judge. And if that's how he felt, he had to go with it. You also engaged at the same time.
You know, it's interesting for him to be speaking about being conflicted about something that he contributed starting. Him and Drake with that first person shooter song enhanced it to a point to where Kendrick Lamar could not stand down much longer. And he jumped on a Future song, which we know Future creates the energy for the streets. This is the most listened to artist in the streets right now, Future. and y'all actually have some sort of conflict with Future, even though Future was featured on J. Cole's new album. It was a conflict with Future and Drake. So K-Dot took advantage of that and went to work and slid on that shit, and then Cole got scared. You know, some people don't look at beef and sparring on records and taking it to the next level as something to be afraid of or something to be fearful of. The only reason I don't beef with people because I don't want to be connected with you forever. I don't want my words to be connected with you, or I felt some sort of way and was in my feelings about your actions for life. And there's plenty of niggas that I could diss on tracks though. But one thing I can say about this press run in closing for J. Cole is that, you know, I'm going to continue to enjoy your music if you didn't retire and this ain't your last album. But it gave me a whole different perspective of you as an individual. And I feel like you may need to take some time off, you know, for a while. You ain't going to lose no fans. You go anywhere in the Carolinas, you probably got 1 million fans plus just in the Carolinas alone. Because when I say the Carolinas, I mean North and South. He represents for the Carolinas, not North Carolina. But the perception of you worldly has changed. You know, you the person that is speaking the most about this beef and apologies and all of this old type of stuff. And I think that the masses is tired of Cole. You know, I won't be speaking about him no more for a while, but I appreciated the double disc. I appreciate your career of what you done musically, but I'm tired, nigga. Real talk. Let's move along in the conversation. You know, one of the best artists of all time, one of the best curators who I assume to have the best catalog of all time, just released some new music. We're going to get to this video, but I want to play a few of the records off of the album Bully. I want to just react to it, but we're going to get to the video, but I want to react to a couple of the songs on the Bully project. And what's your favorite Kanye West album? Me, I think the best album ever of all time is My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That's what I'm gonna say. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is my favorite album of all time, but it's my favorite album from Ye also. It's just that wow, why I can't find Ye new album? Oh, it's under Ye, Kanye West. I don't know where it's at, but we get ready to find it. Where this album at? Let's get into this song, track 1, Last Breath, and then I'm gonna find the album while we doing all of this though. Let's get it.
Sabe mamá, como tú sabes, déjame mamá, como te gusta a ti, bésame mamá, como tú sabes, déjame mamá, como te gusta a ti.
Te doy hasta mi último, take my last breath away, mi aire, I gave you my everything, sin problemas. Noche tras noche alegado. Way too much tequila. Pasé a su own. Take my last breath away. Sé lo que has dicho no es cierto. Now look at the mess you made.
about listened to that whole song. I really ain't that much a fan of Spanish music and all of that Hispanic type style with those. I don't know what those instrumentations is that they be using in their records though, but I really ain't a fan of that. But that song was fly though. Let's keep listening though, because you know Ye is a GOAT. He got a song titled "Mama's Favorite." Let's get it.
Hop in away, sing if you want to. You know you're playing with your own.
Only child, mama's favorite. Conditions that I made it out, it's amazing. Going through cycles, different phases. I'm trying to see how far I can take it. Statements understood, I'm often mistaken. I put in the work, it was backbreaking. They thought I was kidding, thought I was playing. Take this one to Mars like I'm Matt Damon. They say I go off cause I lack patience. Don't think it's my job for me to explain it. I'm on everything, trying to play us. I'm on everything. I drop a bomb on everything. On my wife I put a wedding ring. On my life I give up everything.
The production is still there. The production is still there. One more record before we get into this video. Preacher Man, it has 1 million plays already. Let's get to it. Let's see what he's talking about.
Break in, they ain't let us in. We pass on the settlements. This path I don't recommend. We pass what they expected, man. I go where they never can. I float, I don't never land. When it's dark, you don't know where you go. Need a light bearer to lead you home. I go where they never can. I float, I don't never land. When it's dark, you don't know where you go. Need a light bearer to lead you home. Light 'em up, beam me up. The only GOAT, the genius one. They switching sides, I seen it coming. The plot twist, a convenient one. Look, nobody finna extort me. Even if they record me, I'ma keep it more G. Hand me a drink before I get more deep. She hates sports, like she watching from the floor seats. I hate that God didn't make a couple more of me. And all my haters in the chorus act accordingly. They imitate the sound, call it forgery. What we doing is more important, more importantly. Look what we made it to.
You know, I haven't heard a bass line yet. I'm kind of skeptical about that. This is my first time listening. I'm skipping around on tracks so I can, you know what I mean, not waste too much of y'all time. We got to check this video out right quick and see what Ye talking about on. What's the title of this record? Father, featuring Travis Scott. Let's go.
And hear our prayer, please, Lord, whenever we pray. Father, you've been good. I just want to say thank you, Lord. I just want to say thank you, Lord. You've been better to us than we've been to ourselves. Father,
Now
you wonder where the F he been, but I'm back to life like an EpiPen. SG still in the leopard skin, and check me out then check me in. See this coat, nigga? Bye to my old self. Wake up to the new me. I used to be a world star. Now I'm making Newsweek. I used to hang on the 9. Now I bought 2 streets. College Grove to King Drive. Yeah, this life is a movie. Bye to my old self. Wake up to the new me. I used to be a world star. Now I'm making Newsweek. I used to hang on the 9. Now I bought 2 streets. College Grove to King Drive. Yeah, this life is a movie.
Cause I look good, I smell good, I feel good.
And you sing good.
And make love good.
Know you wonder where the F I been. Going hard like a crack syringe. I've been breaking bad, now I'm back again. Getting meal tickets, no raffling. You see these kicks, nigga? Made checks off the right steps. More vision than some Oakleys. She used to be a lone star. Waking up to Lucy's. In the back. Used to live up in the 7. Now I bought 2 streets. OST Luther King Drive. Now it's Malibu Beach. Used to be V-Live. Now I'm trapped at the Boo Beat. Yeah. Help us now. Turn me up.
Weird ass video. He has the cross and Father also. It's a lot of symbolism in that video, and people who have researched this and studied this, I would like for y'all to get in the comment section and tell me what some of the subliminal messaging mean. You know, I seen the alien land, the police, the aliens, Kanye was an alien, the black church, the Bible burning, a lot. That's a whole lot to digest on my first look at that video. And listening to this without the bass lines, it hasn't been a bass line so far. It's kind of interesting. You know, I got an article that I want to read also. I'm going to tell y'all who's the article from and who is, you know, where the article at? Let me make sure I get it. You know, Kanye West pulled up and he did numbers. He did big boy numbers in the first 24 hours of releasing this. But before I get into reading that, I want to play a couple of more of the records because this is new to me. You know, Ye is one of those artists you got to stop and check it out, what he's talking about, and see what direction he's trying to go. I hope it got some, you know, some drums in this record, though, man. This is titled All of the Love featuring Andre Troutman. Let's get to it.
Baby, we left for the 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 baby.
Let me turn that shit off before I play the whole record. That's one of them ones. Is Ye back? Is Ye back in his bag? That's one of them ones. Tell me I'm cap. In the comment section below, tell me I'm cap if that ain't one of them ones. I want to play 2 more before I read the article. I'm just, checking it out. This is Sisters and Brothers. Let's go.
Get a lot more dangerous. But brothers move a lot like strangers. Let's come together. They say I'm blacking out like Akon. I'm feeling more con like Genghis. What they gon' do with them? Take some time off, they act like they don't remember. Couple fortnights and at least 2 winners. Back with the head taps and the head spinners. I've been blowing money fast, it could not go quicker. Throw it in the bag like a fastball pitcher. Designated hate for the designated hitter. Give it all you got, it does not make a difference. I've been high off living, man, I'm finna OD. White feet just hit the runway, OT. They think we off key, but it's anarchy. Benz on the 4-5 going Mach 3. It's nothing to discuss, so we not gon' speak. They never gave justice, so y'all know peace. Bank account filled with the root of all evil. Anti-hero, vigilante.
One more record that was dope also, Sisters and Brothers. I'm going to give my final take on the music before I read the article. After we get into the title track, Bully, featuring CeeLo. Let's go.
Fall in love, I'll take the pill, it's small enough. Too late, my systems run amok. I wanna beat somebody up like a bully. You think I'm a riot? I see the facade. You wish I'd be quiet. Don't reach to a god.
Dope record. Let's get into the article. Dope records. I like the direction that Kanye West is going. This article is according to International thenews.com. Thenews.com. Kanye West bulldozes streaming charts, drawing stunning streams in less than 24 hours. His return to the music scene years later is setting the music platform charts ablaze. His latest album, Bully, is drawing solid responses from fans. According to Spotify's data, the Chicago rapper has racked up 33.2 million streams on the platform in less than 24 hours. It's just a partial day. The Grammy winner is dominating the charts and thereby the global music conversation. In addition to stunning hits, over 2 million new monthly listeners flocked to West's Spotify profile overnight to stream his new album, Bully. So they put out the track list. 16 out of 18 songs landed on the charts. Look at all those views in less than 24 hours. 2.85 million, 2.62 million, 1.35 for the least amount. Ye raps of Beyonce's Sensory in Bully. He talked about his wife. I don't want to get into that, the article. He talked about Kim K and all of that. So that's all they had to say in this article. But what's interesting about that is that he is doing the 33.2 million streams in less than 24 hours, popping off on the charts. People was waiting on this. People thought Kanye West was canceled. He was done. He was over with. But I feel like he's one of the biggest and the best creators of all time. Salute to Kanye West. I hope y'all go check out that album, Bully. If you have already, tell me your thoughts on it on the comment section below. This was my reaction to it initially. I'm going to do official review on it next weekend. I appreciate y'all, man. Let me know what y'all thoughts is on that bully in the comment section below. I'm about to take a break in the pod, but before I take a break, you know I gotta leave y'all with some music and let y'all vibe out to this. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
My head was naughty then, no snotty then, sweats, no pockets then, sweating, no problems then. Off the potty then, watching karate then, mother's playing double dutch. She was out scotching then, me, girl watching them, cook the letter I hump back, trying to hump that, yes I couldn't play with cousin Pooh, they thought I was mocking them. Graham said I was devilish, Ben knew I was rotten in. School been dropped out, never really clocking in. Been dropped out, never really stopping in. Try and lock me out, try and lock me in. Devilish run with pellet gun, grew from slingshotting them, sling shooting them, dice all day. Kept hook shot nights all day, right hook fight nights all day. Nigga left all night to keep money right all day, break a night all day. If you could look at me now, we smoke with you, youngin'. Y'all was pop locking in, cardboard boxing in. I was up the center, 3D locking in. Strong arm robbing in, started car popping in. Skinny two, telly poop, Molly parking them. Got a joke with Passion, Wilson parking them. Other jets, different sets, started sparking them. I had the 14 gauge, my nickel locking in. Cow made front page, caught a spark from them. He got engaged in his lead, still was walking in. Ain't talk, shook it off, kept sparking them. Old heads ain't help, we had more heart than them. We squashed that war, got some stayed apart from them.
Salute to Benny Siegel, salute to Benny Siegel. Y'all see I introed the show with Memphis Bleak. Played a little bit of Siegel. Salute to Rockefeller. Them was some of the best times in hip hop ever. We got to get into this versus conversation. If you're new to the channel, you may have missed the poll. But did you vote on the poll if you are a member, if you are a subscriber, or a continuous follower of the channel? I put the poll up. What's y'all thoughts? Who did you guys have winning the versus tonight? 67% of all of the voters voted for Tyrese. 33% voted for Tank. You know, I seen Joe Budden's and them perspective on this, and they said that Tank put on a clinic and he blew Tyrese out. But I have a different take. You know, Tyrese had did some interviews before the verses. Tank did interviews before the verses. And during the interview that Tyrese did, he left me kind of, you know, skeptical of what he was capable of doing and what he was going to do.
I think Tank is a different category of singer than me, right? So when we've been approached in the past, I'm like, no. Tank needs to be singing with Brian McKnight. Tank needs to be singing with Stokely from Mint Condition. He needs to sing with somebody who has a high-pitched voice that sings in what's called falsetto, hitting notes way up there. I'm not that, you know, he needs to be doing a verses with Eric Benet or just somebody who sings with a high-pitched voice. I am in the raspy category, like Cisco, like KC, Teddy Pendergrass, Luther Vandross. I have a different pedigree of voice. So I just don't think we're compatible.
You know, before the verses took off, I'm not going to be too long-winded with this versus conversation, and I'm going to tell y'all why here shortly. But before the verses took off, I had Tank winning in a blowout. Because I know Tank is a writer. He's multi-talented. He has a lot of classic records, a lot of records that he wrote as classics. But I felt as if Tyrese had the best songs. So I was kind of confused. You know, it was about who is more personable, who is more, who is people going to gravitate to the most. You know what I'm saying? So I was listening to him speak of that doubt before the verses even started. And I was like, Tyrese out of here, man. Tank get ready to handle business. Then I thought back, you know, why am I vouching for this nigga who would say some shit like this, though?
It's natural. It comes natural.
But it doesn't mean he's gay. It means he sucked dick twice.
Okay, so just for the sake of your argument, that's okay. I got you.
Because the art of being gay is being gay.
Is being
It's
in
a
the moment.
continuous.
If you kissed a wee-wee, you know, a boudin, an eggplant, or whatever you want to call it, you are what you are. You can say that about a plethora of things about being present. You know, if you continuously doing something, if you ain't doing it at the moment, then you ain't that. Nah, big dog, you did it. You are that. For real. It ain't about who you are being at the moment. You know, you could have been a basketball player before in the past. Are you not a basketball player now because you ain't that in the present? You know, you could have been a singer previously. Are you not that no more because you're not singing right now in the present? You are only what you are in the present. That's interesting. That is, it's true though. But using it in the defense of homosexuals is wild. It's wild. It's wild, Tank. So I was thinking like, why am I defending this whole ass nigga up here talking about if you suck the penis twice, you ain't gay? Stop. Let's play a few of the highlights from this verses so I can get my commentary.
So you just gonna come out here and start singing shit that nobody know?
Oh, well, yeah. Don't disrespect the lid. That'll get you fucked up.
That's all right.
Don't do that.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Stay out my section. My fans are way more lit over here than yours over there. Let me see what we got next. I don't even care about running the clock. He watching the clock. Hey, Tank, don't worry about the clock, man. Tank. Hey, Tank, don't worry about the clock. Just do your thing, baby. Don't worry about the clock.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying about the clock because you weren't able to orchestrate your music to fit within the constraints of the time frame that was given. You think because you sing a mid-song longer, it's going to get better. It's just going to be a mid-song sang longer. It's fine. It's fine.
Didn't you just say that the ladies like it slow?
I'm going to respect the clock.
What's the rush?
I respect these people's time. I respect them standing
okay,
on
they
their
got to
feet.
get home. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
They got to get, they got something to do. They got
took
something to
6
do.
minutes to sing. Jesus Christ. It just didn't make the song better.
I'm taking over the crowd if you haven't noticed. Is this Tyrese house? All the Tyrese fans up in here make some motherfucking noise. Don't worry about it, Tank. I'll give them back in a second. But right now, this is my shit. Y'all ready? Hey! All the many days you on my mind. Now that I'm falling, what am I gonna do? Yeah. I love you.
You know, I'm starting to think that the tension that people thought was tension was scripted so they could make people more engaged in the verses because those guys created an album together. They worked together continuously. And, you know, I would like to hear another TGT album, but Genuine, come on, Genuine, tighten up, big dog. You know, it was cool seeing Trey Songz come out, Chingy come out. I forgot Shawty that used to be a part of Destiny's Child. I don't even know her name. I don't remember her name, but she had a dope record that Tank had written also. But the Jamie Foxx, when he came out, Jamie Foxx is a showman. He could have took over that whole thing. I think he could beat both of them in the verses, and he's not a better singer than either one. But he's just a showman. It's something to that. And Jamie Foxx was about to take over the scene. He seemed like the person you give the attention to, he's going to embrace the attention, and he's going to take advantage of the attention. I like that Tank defended Aaliyah and said, don't disrespect Aaliyah's song, talking about I'm performing songs don't nobody know about. That was a hit record from Aaliyah now. Come on, Tank. That was a kind of disrespectful. And, you know, him talking about the clock was a lack of professionalism. Because, you know, if you want to be professional and you want to do your thing, man, you got to be concerned about that clock. You got to be organized so people will get a good show. But some people like dysfunction. Dysfunction is what's entertaining in this world today, to be honest with you. And I felt like Tyrese was embracing the dysfunction, and he capitalized off of being dysfunctional. Let's go.
I took 5 of his flowers and he mad. Don't be mad, man. It's just flowers, bro. It's just flowers. I love y'all. Thank y'all for singing along to these real hits. Thank y'all. Appreciate you. Hey, Tank, let me get on stage, man. You look a little nervous while I'm out. Should I go back here?
He gonna talk to you. Is this Tyrese's house? Is this Tyrese's house? No, motherfucker. This is a win for R&motherfucking B, man. R&B. What up, Mona? I salute you, my brother Tyrese. I know y'all see us going back and forth online, but that's my brother for real. I love that brother, and that's why we're here today. I still don't like his turtleneck, but it's cool. It's cool. Hold on. Yes, sir. I think he's changing clothes. Probably putting on another. Oh, now it's the jacket with the suede lapel. You switch from the shiny. Oh, you got a suede lapel. But you still got on that turtleneck. You recycle that turtleneck. You should take off that turtleneck. Anytime you feel like a takeoff, that turtleneck, you gon' suffocate in this verses. Turtleneck. Don't suffocate in his verses. Turtleneck. Don't suffocate in his verses. Turtleneck. Oh, don't suffocate in his verses. Turtleneck. Oh, don't suffocate in his verses. Turtleneck. Hallelujah, fan him down, fan him down, fan him down. Turtleneck. Oh, break it down, whisper it, whisper it, whisper it. Turtleneck. Oh, whisper it, whisper it. Turtleneck.
When the fuck did verses become that turtleneck? Anybody else want to sing that turtleneck? Just get it out your system right now. It's like, go ahead. Give me the whisper. Hey, this is a good ass turtleneck right here, dog. Chocolate is spreading. Boy, out here doing all them runs, man. Why didn't you just call Kim Burrell, man? All right. Let's see what we're doing, man. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you the chat. Can I tell y'all the most challenging part? As soon as I got the crowd, he fucks the crowd up, then I got to figure out a way to bring y'all back up.
Hey, man, before I get to my take and my perspective of that turtleneck, and that was the highlight of the verses, I want to say I agree with people who voted on the poll. I seen a ton of other people poll that Tyrese won, but Tyrese won specifically because of, you know, the records. The records that he has may not be, you know, as successful financially as Tank records, but timing and release has something to do with that. But Tank got hits, man, also. But Tyrese, those songs resonated with me more, and I appreciated those songs more. But let me get to me being an artist and what I would do if I was Tank right now. I would ask Tyrese to let me capitalize, dog, unless we got some sort of beef going on. I got to use a picture of you with that turtleneck on and release that as a single. And I got to go in the studio, take some of the live audio, put it in the Pro Tools or the Nuendos or whatever you use, mix and master it, and make that turtleneck a song, because that was fire freestyling from an R&B artist off the whim like that. I give him major creative props. I give him props for the songs that he's written before. Tank is a hell of a talented individual when it comes to music. The only reason I say Tyrese won this versus is because the songs resonated with me. R&B won that night. Great verses. I would like to see more R&B verses. I love R&B. Salute to Tank and Tyrese. Now we're gonna move along in the conversation. This is getting ready to be a sort of an educational conversation because, Ghana President John Mahama. I got notes for this because, getting up there in age, my memory ain't the best. So, the greatest crime against humanity, the transatlantic slave trade. I seen a lot of people talking about this. I seen a lot of things that I disagreed with also about this. I identify as foundational Black American. When Jesse Jackson and them brothers created African American, I wasn't old enough to be able to agree or disagree with it. I thought that's just what we was because I was a child in the 80s. I come to realize that, they say everything started in Africa. Everything. We're going to get to that here in a few. But my foundation, my lineage is partially American. That's what I identify with. That's what I, accept. What's crazy though is that when I think about all of these conversations and all of these people gravitating towards being FBA or identifying as Pan-African or, different lineages of being Black and things like that, I say we talk about this stuff, but ain't none of us pure. Some of us, all of us have Caucasian in us. It ain't because we wanted to, it's because things happened during that time. But all of us are mixed. At the end of the day, none of us is pure. So it seems like people want to belong to something. They want to be a part of something. They want to belong to or identify with something. Let me play this first clip of Judge Joe Brown talking about the Ghana president and his thought process behind it. I agree with it in totality. But let me go ahead and play it.
Wait, why is Ghana not offering to pay reparations to American blacks since they caught so many of our ancestors and chained them, marched them in long coffles to these slave prisons on the coast and guarded them while they were getting put on boats to be shipped over here? Why doesn't this hypocrite from Ghana offer to pay reparations?
They contributed. They are complaining that America didn't agree that, the gravest crime against humanity was the transatlantic slave trade, and they want reparations from America. The word from America means from you, American black man. When America hasn't paid reparations to you, do you think these African individuals give a damn about you? Because they didn't give a damn about you when they wanted to obtain things and use you as collateral to get what they wanted and gave you to the slave master. One thing that's interesting to me is that it's systems in this world. Systems don't have morals. Systems don't feel empathy. Systems don't care about right or wrong. Systems don't make ethical decisions. So if you participate in a system such as the capitalist system, are you going to be an empathetic individual? Are you going to be a person with morals? Are you going to care about right or wrong? Because you are contributing to the same system. You are in agreement to the same system that America is up under. Man, let me play the first clip. Let me play it, man. Real talk.
Those that voted against the resolution was the United States. Were you disappointed by that vote? And also, if you can comment on those that abstain, more than 50 nations. How do you feel about those? Thank you.
So I would like to comment on the reasons they gave. They sought to create the impression that the time for negotiations have been short. The president of Ghana served notice last year in September when he delivered his address at the 80th session of the General Assembly. Immediately thereafter, we put together a broad-based coalition, including experts, academics, researchers, historians from all regions of the world. And we commenced negotiations. In the history of the United Nations, this has been a resolution that has gone through so many rounds of consultations. And even the duration for this consultation, each consultation, the standard practice at the UN is that it takes 1.5 hours. We allocated 3 hours, twice the time, and had multiple rounds of negotiations. So there are some that to us, it is clear that even if we gave them 50 years, they would say that the time is not enough. But we can no longer wait. September, we will be commemorating 100 years since the last slavery was abolished. 100 years. And yet there has been no justice. A whole century. So we cannot keep waiting for those who do not want to reckon, who do not want to come to the table with urgency and with acknowledgement that this is a matter that can no longer be swept under the carpet. So we disagree with the notion that there was no time for negotiation.
You know, he talked about justice. And even if we gave them 50 years, to me, I feel like America don't abide by those rules, laws, and regulations. If you want justice, and I say this to my community also, you know, they obtain their power through violence. I'm not an advocate for this. I'm just going to tell y'all. They obtain their power from violence. It's going to take violence to obtain it back. Just a matter of fact. It's going to take violence. I'm not an advocate for that. But that's how they obtain theirs. So how you think you're going to obtain yours? That shit that they talking about, that ain't going to fly, Jack. You can't be participating in the same system we participate in, then ask us to provide from something that happened 5 years ago. That's just real talk. What I want to say is that, you know, Ghana isn't even the original name for that country when that thing was happening in that country. It was called the Gold Coast. And it wasn't called the Gold Coast because of, gold being there. It's because it was the most profitable coast, because you could get people to work for free, labor-free people. It's also a such thing as the global black community. I don't believe in the global black community because all of us are different. I don't believe there's a such thing as a global white community. All white people don't get along. It's different lineages in Africa and they all look alike. They're all the same complexion. You know, just because you black don't mean I'm going to agree with you. I don't even know what black is in the first place. It was something that was created. It's just interesting to think that we would align with these individuals because of a skin complexion and because Jesse Jackson and them brothers created African Americans and tied us together as if they can come and start asking for certain things that we haven't even obtained on our own land ourselves. And to people that say that he is fighting for the diaspora, I don't believe in that shit. I don't believe in the global black community. I just don't. There ain't none of these people even ever bought me a sandwich before. They ain't never looked out for my best interest or care about me when I'm down bad. I don't believe in that. I believe in like-minded individuals. Anything other than that, that's bullshit. Let's get into what, this rat-ass nigga Al Sharpton had to say at the UN talking about Ghana.
From incident to incident. But if we do not deal with the underlying systematic problem, and that is that there are those that feel they have the right and the supremacy over other humans, and they will never be held accountable for it and never pay for it. This resolution is an attendance sheet on what nations stand for what. This is not a new call. I come out of the Martin Luther King School of Thought, but Malcolm X said we may have to go to the UN. One of his main disciples, Dr. James Smalls, is with us. Queen Mother Moore said this. Queen Mother Blakely's here. Sister, I don't come with others that have not. Sister Salam. These are people that have been in the streets for decades. And State Senator Sanders, all of us, but many of them preceding me. The question is not what the people feel. The people have stated their feelings and will continue to and must galvanize. The question is, what do nations stand for? When I hear nations saying they're going to abstain from a vote, how do you abstain from being a racist and a bigot? How do you abstain from paying your debt to people that you worked for centuries and never paid? How do you abstain from the guilt and the blood that's on your hands while you deposit money in banks that your forefathers didn't earn and our forefathers worked and never got paid?
You know, I'm an advocate for reparations. Some of my most highest viewed content is me talking about reparations. I'm an advocate for reparations to us, specifically to the people. I don't want no politicians in power saying what we got to do with it or where to divvy it up at. I don't like that aspect. It's supposed to go directly to the people, like those stimulus checks. If it's a such thing as reparations, that money need to get divvied up just like those stimulus checks got divvied up. $2,000 a piece. If you're going to give everybody, if everybody come to agreement $1 million a piece enough, then everybody need a direct deposit from the government to those finances. You know, he said underlying systematic problem. We just talked about the system that people contribute to, the capitalist system that he benefits from. He's a rat. He is a rat. That's a rat sitting up there talking about the black community and what we need to do and what we need to boycott and if these countries don't align with us, they're bigots and racist and they're contributing to a system that empowers them and it don't empowers you. They view themselves as powerful. You got to take it. Everything, it has to be taken. It ain't nothing that's going to ever be given to you. When the last time somebody gave you something? Listening to, you know, this pastor, Al Sharpton, who is churchless, speak the way he speaks, is blasphemous to me. Let's get into this article, man, before I crash out, man. UN resolution urges reparations for slavery, historical wrongs. So the resolution, spearheaded by Ghana's, received 123 votes in favor. 3 countries, Argentina, Israel, and the United States, voted against, and 52 abstained. Today we come together in solemn solidarity to affirm truth and pursue a right to healing or reparative justice, said Ghana's president, John Mahama, speaking ahead of the vote on behalf of the 54-member African group, the largest regional bloc at the UN. So he says stolen, shackled, and shipped. I want to read it first because that struck a nerve with me. Stolen. That word has been catching me off guard a lot lately when I talk about slavery and crimes and things that happen to us, because we like to think that when you steal something, you sneaking and doing it. You sneaking and hiding and doing it. When something is taken from you, they blatantly doing it in your face and they don't care if you see it. So stolen is striking me right now. For more than 400 years, millions of people were stolen from Africa, put in shackles, and shipped to the New World to toil in cotton fields and sugar and coffee plantations under scorching heat and the crack of the whip. Denied their basic humanity and even their own names, they were forced to endure generations of exploitation with repercussions that reverberate today, including persistent anti-black racism and discrimination. The resolution emphasized the trafficking of enslaved Africans and radicalized chattel enslavement of Africans as the gravest crime against humanity. By reason of the definitive break in world history, scale, duration, systematic nature, brutality, and enduring consequences that continue to structure the lives of all people through radicalized regimes of labor, property, and capital. Okay. You know, what tribe in Africa? If they're going to put this down, be more specific. Who, what, don't talk about black and white. I don't want to hear nothing about black because y'all don't identify as black over there. Y'all identify as y'all lineage. Y'all identify with y'all tribe. Y'all don't identify with black. What tribe is y'all talking about? What people? I feel like this is something that they speaking about that is not them taking accountability for their actions, because they said millions of people were stolen from Africa, put in shackles, and shipped to the New World to toil in cotton fields and sugar and coffee plantations under scorching heat and the crack of the whip. Stolen. They didn't sneak and do it. Somebody participated in this. They wasn't sneaking late at night grabbing Africans for 300 years, putting them on boats. Somebody was contributing to this. It was somebody contributing to this system to allow this to happen. That's just my take. Put in shackles and shipped to the New World. Let me continue to read, man. There are spirits of the victims of slavery present in this room at this moment, and they are listening for one word only: justice. Esther Phillips, first poet laureate of Barbados. You know, that quote right there, that quotation, she said, there are spirits of victims. I'm not one of those. And the people who feel as if they are victims, we need to stop identifying as victims. And stop expecting justice. If you want justice, you got to take it. Ain't nothing going to be gave to you. It never has been. It's been 500 years. Ain't no justice been gave, and it'll never be given. 5 generations have died, and y'all still expecting these people to do what they said. Man, I ain't that stupid, and I'm not a victim. So addressing wrongs, support reparations. It affirmed the importance of addressing historical wrongs affecting Africans and people of the diaspora in a manner that promotes justice, human rights, dignity, and healing, while emphasizing that claims of reparations represent a concrete step towards remedy. The text was highly problematic in countless aspects. Ambassador Dan Negri, U.S. representative to the UN Economic and Social Council, said prior to the vote, he regretted that Washington must once again remind this body that the United Nations exists to maintain internal peace and security, and was not founded to advance narrow specific interests and agendas to establish niche international days or to create new costly meetings and reporting mandates. Furthermore, the U.S. does not recognize a legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time they occurred. A grave human rights violation. The horrors of slavery echoed in the General Assembly Hall as member states commemorated the International Day to remember its victims. The slave trade and slavery stand among the gravest violations of human rights in human history, an affront to the very principles enshrined in the character of our United Nations and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, themselves born in part from the injustices of the past, said Assembly President, I can't pronounce that name. You know, this article is kind of long. I'm not going to continue to read it. It is on the United Nations. I'm going to tell y'all exactly what it is. The story is UN resolution urges reparations for slavery's historical wrongs. Me, I feel like, you know, whatever the U.S. contribute to that should go specifically to the people that is in their nation. You know, the foundation of Black Americans have been done wrong. And before the people that came over here on ships receive reparations, the foundational people should receive reparations. And I want to play this clip before we further along in the conversation.
Muslims to this day are enslaving black people in Africa. It was Muslims are the reason why we blacks are here in America today. Not because of what Christians, white people did to us.
Weren't those slave traders white men from Europe?
No, they were Muslims.
Arab slave
blacks
traders.
And Muslims. The slave trade was going on long before white people, Christians or Jews even showed up. In fact, from 700 AD, from what I can research, go Google stuff up. 18 million blacks were taken out of Africa into the eastern parts of Arabia and the east and so forth and so on. 18 million, whereas the whites and Christians bought about 13 million from the black and Muslim slave traders in the continent, the West African slave trade. But you never hear about that. You never hear that part. All you hear is what white Christians and Jews did. The fault of white Christians and Jews is that they disobeyed the Torah. And for the love of money to make profit, they abandoned what they had forsaken in Europe and took on the curse of Africa by buying slaves. But they did not capture it. In fact, Henry Louis Gates has a new book. And apparently he is saying, something I've been saying, that over 90% of the slave trade in West Africa was black people and Muslims, not white people. Only 10% whites. And so you don't hear that kind of talk. But it's going to have to come out now with all this media and information sharing. Everybody now can look in everybody's backyard. We can no longer hide the fact that Muslims are the primary reason why West Africans are in the United States.
Became slaves.
And not in the United States, but in Mexico, Central America, South America. 94% of the slave trade that the Muslims sold went into Mexico, Central America, and South America. Only 6% of the Muslim slave trade came into North America, which then the white Christians and Jews fought each other over this issue and ended the African curse upon us black people. And we're free now. We were never free.
As a result of who?
Of white people. White Christians and Jews. The Civil War. The abolition movement. All of that America struggled with over the existence of slaves in this country. America, the United States did not start slavery. That's a misnomer.
Yeah.
The United States inherited the slavery from the British in 1776. The British did not start it. They bought it from Africa.
Right. You know, I'm about to get up off of this topic after I give my take. This is very interesting to me. I'm going to have to do more research and get a better understanding, like a historical research before slavery. If anybody is watching this that can lead me in the direction of where I can get books that talks about things before slavery, because it seems like the existence of us starts at slavery. And that's not true. Now, one thing I want to say in closing is that only 400,000 people, historically written, made it to the United States. And I'm grateful that I'm one of them because I love my country, to be honest. I love this land. I love life in general. Why did those other 12 million people go? If 12.5 million people were slaves and 400,000 of them, you know, only made it to the United States, why do they have an expectancy for the United States to give reparations? The majority, they have an expectancy for the United States to give the majority of reparations when they received the least amount of slaves. You know, I know some people probably disagree with me, but instead of being disgruntled about the conversation, educate me so I can change my perspective. Real talk. I appreciate y'all tuning in to this segment of the show. Let's further the conversation in the comment section below. I'm about to switch the topic up, though. I appreciate y'all, man. You know, I want to tell a story before I get into this. I grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee. You know, I played basketball. It was my favorite sport until I got a little older. Now I rock with baseball heavy. I grew up, I played at this church in South Knoxville called Severe Heights Baptist Church. You know, 10 years old, I played for this team in the church. It was 4 teams. It was Tennessee, it was North Carolina, it was Duke, and it was Kansas. Those was the 4 teams. We used to play each other every week. We had a tournament and all of that. And I played for North Carolina. Now, this was when I was a young boy. And the best players from those each 4 teams got a chance to play in the AAU. So my team, the Tar Heels, we went and we won the championship at the church. And they picked me and my boy Michael Green. And I forgot who. It was another player, but I forgot his name. I think it's Dexter. He played too on the AAU team. We went to the AAU. And, you know, that's when my love from North Carolina came. I don't like using the word fan because it's an abbreviation for a fanatic. But when it comes to them Tar Heels, I'm going to say I'm a fan, you know, the abbreviation part, because I'm not a fanatic. But I played on the AAU team. I played against players that made it to the NBA, Vincent Yarbrough, and a couple of other individuals that played for the Tar Heels in real life, in real college. But me, I was head over my heels in the AAU league. I wasn't ready for that, man. Them boys were some real deal ballers. No cap. I thought I was good in my neighborhood and good on the church league and all of that. But when I got to the AAU league, man, them boys was something serious. So with all of that said, Tar Heel basketball and conversations about Tar Heels is relevant to me. These last 5 years been hard as a Tar Heels supporter. You know, the coach, I think he had good intentions, but he was just recently fired. And I was in agreement with that a year ago. I felt like Hubert Davis needed to be gone a year ago. But now people are starting to say that the Tar Heels ain't the same no more. They ain't what they once was. They ain't sending people to the league. They ain't doing none of that. The NIL changed the Tar Heels. The Tar Heels ain't what's up no more. They ain't what's popping. So I'm kind of disgruntled about that, man. Should we keep it internal when we get a new coach? Should we get a big boy coach at the NBA, you know, and change the program around totally? You know, we already got Bill Parcells down there as the football coach, and I don't like that neither. I went to the Tar Heels basketball game where they announced him. And I was like, man, they done got this old-ass nigga down here hollering at the young honeys in college. That's crazy. But Tar Heels basketball mean a lot to me, man. You know, being a brother from the southeast part of the United States, Tar Heels basketball is everything. Me being in Charlotte right now, it kind of tripped me out when I seen so many people fans of Duke, because I know Duke as an educational school, like a Vanderbilt, like a Clemson, like a Princeton. You know, they are more of an educational school. They good in basketball, but it really ain't a sports school like that. So it tripped me out seeing so many brothers that is supporters of Duke. But a former Duke player was on ESPN the other day, and he had this to say about the Tar Heels being blue bloods.
Four starters in double figures beat Kentucky without their second leading scorer and their top rebounder. But it wasn't just Kentucky that struggled in the first weekend of the tournament. Other blue bloods, Kansas, North Carolina, all failed to make it out of the first weekend. And so there's a concern about these blue bloods, but which one is the highest of concerning? Is it Kentucky, Kansas, or North Carolina? Jay, what do you think?
There's no question it's North Carolina. And I'm saying this growing up as a North Carolina fan. Like, if North Carolina didn't have that logo, I'm not sure we'd be talking about them as a blue blood over the last 5 years since COVID. Relevancy is currency. And I can make a case that they're not a top 5 current relevant team in college basketball right now, which is crazy when you think about this is a brand that some of the most elite of the elite have worn, from Michael Jordan to Vince Carter to Jerry Stackhouse. I mean, the last time they had a top 5 pick was in 2005. Now they'll have one this year with Caleb Wilson. But let me actually put together a list. Stephen A., I know you like your A's list. Let me give you a list of my top 5 most relevant college basketball brands right now in the last 5 years since COVID. Number 1, UConn, back-to-back titles. Dan Hurley, a personality that extends and it kind of epitomizes what college basketball is. Duke, you can make a case, hey, number 1 recruiting class, 3 out of John Shire's 4 years, with another number 1 recruiting class last year. Back-to-back National Players of the Year, Cooper Flagg, Cameron Boozer this year. Kansas, I mean, you talk about conference dominance. Bill Self has won the conference regular season of the Big 12, the best conference in America, 13 years straight. 13 years straight. And by the way, going to have a top 3 pick in Darren Peterson this year. Houston. Where does Houston come from? Well, Houston, since they entered the Big 12 in the last couple of years, have dominated multiple number 1 seeds. And by the way, a number 2 seed again this year in Houston, where they have a chance to compete for another Final Four. And then Kentucky, I'm just going to give Kentucky praises for the fact it's Big Blue Nation. It's the largest social media platform outside of Duke to pay attention to in college basketball. Mark Pope is struggling a little bit in year 2. They should have had a chance to get to the Final Four this year. They underachieved. But to me, I can make a case that Florida is more relevant of a program than North Carolina right now. I can make a case that Gonzaga is more relevant of a program than North Carolina right now. I'm not saying historically in the last 100 years, but in the last 5 years, Stephen A., you're damn right.
Hating ass Duke niggas, it is what it is. You know, I don't like him saying that. I really don't like a Duke player saying that, but it's true. The last 5 years, you know, we was ran down in the ground. It was something that I'm not used to. Ever since I moved to NC, like, we always made it to the Elite 8. The year I moved here in 2016, we lost to Villanova in the championship. 2 years later, we went back to the championship. It was like the Tar Heels is always winning. But since the NIL, you know, we usually have the most talent, the tallest and the longest team, and we just normally win. But looking at the last 5 years, it has been a drastic change, and something has to be done about it, because this is not normal. This is something, that job is a significant job. They're willing to pay whatever they making money. That basketball program is making plenty of money. I went to a game against DePaul, $100 a seat for a raggedy little seat, and it's packed like a football game is being played. So I was tripping off of that when I went to my first NC game in my life. But what I want to say is that I want to play this clip from Draymond Green talking about who should be the next coach, and I'm going to give y'all my perspective on who should be the next coach also. It's a few names in the running that I'm going to give y'all my top 3 ahead of time. You know, Tyler Hansborough, Kenny the Jet Smith, Jerry Stackhouse. Let's go.
University of North Carolina job is open, and there are a lot of big names being thrown around. I've seen Brad Stevens. I've seen Billy Donovan. Quite honestly, I don't think either one of those guys are going back to college. We can cross those names off. I've seen Dusty May pop up. I don't think Dusty May is leaving the University of Michigan. I've seen Tommy Lloyd pop up, Todd Golden from Florida. I don't think those coaches are leaving their schools to go to North Carolina. And so I think North Carolina is going to have an interesting choice to make. You can look at some other names. TJ Otzelberger from Iowa State, Nate Oates from Alabama, Grant McCaslin from Texas Tech. This is the NIL era. And how do you get a name your biggest donors would be willing to support? And so I think North Carolina's at a crossroad. When you look at some of these big names, if you can pull in one of these big names, yes, that helps with your NIL. But if you don't, I think you're going to end up having to turn back to a Tar Heel. People that your program will rally around, that former players will rally around, boosters will rally around. And one name that pops out to me is Jerry Stackhouse. I think Stackhouse should definitely be in the running for this job. It'll be interesting to see, give Stackhouse an interview, because they may be a little afraid, like, oh man, we just had a player, we just had an African American. Everybody aren't the same.
Let me turn Draymond Green and his podcast promotion off. You know, all of those names is cool. Those big names from the NBA and all of that. And I know Brad Stevens isn't coming down from an executive job in that major NBA franchise to come coach at the Tar Heels, even though the Tar Heels is still a significant job. But, you know, Kenny the Jet Smith said something very important about the Tar Heels job that people need to take into consideration. And I'm going to play that clip here shortly, but I want to say who I want specifically and who I think they shouldn't second guess if they want the job is Jerry Stackhouse. What he done at Vanderbilt was great. Vanderbilt is a great program also. It's a very educational school. It's a significant school to, you know, the Vanderbilt's on that school. That ain't no play school. What he did as an assistant at the Memphis Grizzlies, you know, give him a round of applause. And also, historically, he was a better college player to me than he was an NBA player. He played at the Wizards with Mike. You know, I think that kind of hurt his career, having to play alongside of Mike when Mike coming out of retirement, and he is just now getting in the league. But Jerry Stackhouse was a hell of a basketball player, no cap. But let's see what Kenny the Jet Smith had to say about, you know, Carolina lineage, Tar Heel lineage. Let's do it.
First of all, Coach Hubert Davis, thank you for your service and what you did for North Carolina basketball as a player and as a coach. You've moved it forward. And I think people forget that because of a one game here and there. But I also think that this is a precarious position for North Carolina and for us as Tar Heels. Because what makes us special, okay, when you fire one person, that's Hubert Davis. But when you have Coach Frederick, you have Sean May, you have Jeff Lebo, you have Marcus Page, you have Pat Sullivan. What that is you have a lineage to every era of basketball that's Carolina that was on that staff, including Hubert Davis. Every era. What makes Carolina family is the connection of all of those eras were in one building at one time. I will say this, Dean Smith retired as a Tar Heel. Roy Williams retired as a Tar Heel. Hubert Davis was going to retire a Tar Heel. Whoever we come in, they have to want to retire a Tar Heel.
Is retiring a Tar Heel more important than winning now? You know, Roy Williams, what he did at Kansas made us go get him from Kansas and say, you got to come home, dog. We can't keep getting our ass whooped by our previous players and all of that. And I think that thought process due to the NIL is over with. I think we are torn between, like Alabama, morals and things in comparison to winning now. We need to focus on winning now, not trying to get players that want to stay around for a while. We need to win now. And I think Jerry Stackhouse is capable of that. I think Jerry Stackhouse would want to retire a Tar Heel and come back home and live the rest of his life there and create and end his legacy there. But if we want to win now, we got to go get somebody that is capable of bringing those dubs along the way. Real talk. Tar Heel players and, you know, people that support the Tar Heels, let me know what's your thought process behind that. Do y'all want to win now? Or do y'all want a coach that's going to be there for the rest of his career? Because it could have been Hubert Davis, but we was losing and we was disgruntled with that. Let's get along in the conversation and see what Stephen A. Smith had to say about NC.
Okay.
Well, listen, you've got, you got the guy at Florida, just won a national championship last year. You've got Nate Oates that I'm a huge fan of, and I'm quite sure folks will do the job. But knowing North Carolina, they will look internally first. That's always what I've been taught about Tar Heel Nation. They're hiring internally. They ain't looking at people outside. Maybe because of NIL, transfer portal, and all of the new age of college sports and college basketball in particular, they would look outside. But to me, don't do it until you're absolutely 100% sure that Kenny the Jet Smith is not available. That he is very, very happy at ESPN doing Inside the NBA with Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal and the great Ernie Johnson. Make sure that he has no desire whatsoever to be the next coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels. But if he wants that job, this ain't no Rooney Rule situation in the NBA, in the NFL. This college basketball. You got to go through all of that. You don't even think about it. You don't even think about interviewing another coach. You hire Kenny Smith. The man is brilliant at the game of basketball. I'm telling you, he's brilliant at basketball. He's a savant in that regard. But most importantly, Doggy, I believe that Kenny Smith can recruit. He's very, very connected to youth basketball throughout this country. A lot of athletes know him, not just because of how popular he is on television, but because of the summer camps that he runs and the summer camps that he's a part of. He's connected very much so to that world. And I believe that he will compete with Shia in recruiting. And because that's the reality that I believe would take place, that's what it comes down to me. It's not about X's and O's when it comes to a lot of these college coaches. Because
you know, I think Kenny the Jet Smith will be a good coach also, but I wouldn't pick him over Jerry Stackhouse. He has been up there comfortable for years doing what he do with Shaq and Charles Barkley and Ernie. The man barely can walk. You know what I'm saying? Him and Stephen A. Smith is friends and all of that. And as a Tar Heel advocate, we want to win right now. To me, it's between Jerry Stackhouse and Tyler Hansborough. Real talk. We got to get one of them in the office, or not one of them, both of them in the office and lead the team to success. Real spill. You know, I'm looking forward to the decision. And when the decision is made on who the next coach is, I'm going to come back on the show and have a discussion about that. Salute to March Madness. The Elite 8 starts next week. Me and them Jackson boys will be here to talk about it. Real talk. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel. Leave your commentary and your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll tap in with y'all boys, man. Appreciate y'all. I got one more topic, though. Jeezy was on the Pivot podcast. He was talking about mental health. He was talking about the curation of the Recession album. You know, I got a question I want to pose to y'all before I play the clip. What is Jeezy's best album? You got 3 of them. You only got 3, really. 3 projects. All of them aren't albums, but 3 projects that you can pick that is from to see which one is his best. You got Trap or Die. You got Thug Motivation 101, and you got The Recession. To me, specifically, as a grown man and a person who evolved during the time that Jeezy was evolving in life, The Recession is the best album. Let's hear what Jeezy had to say and the breakdown about The Recession.
I started to get back outside of the box and talk to people who was outside of my world. And I was at dinner with these guys one night, and they was talking about the recession. And I didn't really know what it meant at first, but I know these guys were wealthy. And for me, I was like, why are they concerned about money if they already got money? And I asked him, and he told me, he said, hey man, this is real. Like, this is gonna affect the whole world. And my first mind was, I gotta go tell my people. So how do I tell them? So now I'm doing the research, and I'm watching the news, I'm reading books, I'm taking the time to ask questions, and I'm putting together this project in the back of my mind, and I'm going, and it was crazy because I literally went in the studio like 2 days and picked beats. Like, I've never done this before, because I normally like do a song here, do a song there. I went in the studio 2 days and picked beats from like Midnight Black, I think it was D-Rich and a few more people, and I instantly went in the studio, and I stayed in there about 10 days, and I knocked this whole album out. And then I called my partner Cool, shout out to Cool, and I said, yo, come listen to this. And we listened to it together. I hadn't let nobody else listen to it. And he's like, this it. And I said, I know. And I said, you think they're gonna receive it? But the one thing they did say when I started letting people hear it was, I think you should take the My President record off because we don't know if he's gonna win yet. And I said, no, he's gonna win. Wow. He's gotta win. Like, look at what's going on. And so, I fought with the label, put it on there. And another magical thing happened around that time too. Kanye, his mother had just passed, and I had gave him one of the records me and Tip had, and it was called I Got Money. And he ended up doing Put On for me. And that was the first verse he did since his mother passed. And like, he went in. Yes, and when I went to the label, I was like, this is it. And everybody got behind it. I dropped it off to the radio station, Greg Street in Atlanta. He played it like 1,000 times, and it blew up from there. Yeah. But my thought process was from that to that was I woke up one day and I was just like, man, I'm a star.
You know, I want to say salute to Ryan Clark and them boys over there at the Pivot Podcast. Y'all be having some dope discussions over there. And The Recession actually is the best album out of Jeezy's catalog. I'm surprised and shocked to hear that he wrote that within 10 days. It's a phenomenal record. It has aged well. The Put On song with Ye. My President is Black with Nas. Just The Recession, Vacation, all of those songs. It wasn't a bad song on that project, and it was actually motivational because we was dealing with times where finances was hard to come by. It was like, man, where do I look? Where do I go? Where do I turn to get some money? Gas was $5 a gallon. I remember I stayed within a 5-mile radius for a month trying to come up. That was my trapping days too, boy. I stayed within a 5-mile radius. I went to church. I got some money in the hood. I went to work in the hood. I got my gas, my food, everything in the hood. I didn't go past those 5 miles because, you know, times was hard in it, and I don't like living with uncertainty. So The Recession was an album that motivated me. And, you know, my mom worked 5 miles away at the hospital from the neighborhood. Like, we didn't have to go 5 miles to do anything. So that Recession album was motivation. And, you know, that same year, I moved out the hood and bought a condo, a nice one too, in 2008. Life changing. Real talk. Let's get into this aspect of the mental health conversation that Jeezy had to talk about on this Pivot Podcast episode, because, you know, I've been talking about mental health a lot. Me and the Jackson boys been talking about mental health a couple of times during our podcast, and people and rap artists being in their feelings and things. And mental health is something that has really caught the black community off guard, because we was dealing with mental issues and traumatic issues and didn't even know how to define it or what it was. And I want to hear Jeezy talking about this.
Have this internal battle. Because I was dealing with a lot of things at one time. You know, trauma for sure, a lot of post-traumatic stress, you know what I'm saying? A lot of not being able to connect with my emotions, because I think at some point, after you lose so many people, like, and it, like, when I tell people the number, they look at me like I'm crazy, but it's like, yeah, that's real. I mean, I've lived 9 lives. I mean, I'm being honest. I've lived different lives with different sets of people. So I've been around a lot of people that's been into some things, and I've seen a lot of losses. And I just think at some point, my only defense mechanism was just to be able to become numb. And that means I was just numb all the way around. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, I didn't have any emotions. I wasn't attached to anything, and I could, like, cut things off. And like what they say, if you can't walk away from it in 30 seconds, like they say on Heat, that was me for real. Like, I could literally be like, oh, I'm good. And not even, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, I was operating from that. So I was operating from scarcity. And I think in this season of my life, I'm operating from abundance. And it's totally different, because, you know, it's like I feel real, like I didn't have feelings. I just knew that I thought something was wrong with me, because I didn't understand why I was anxious all the time. But if you got to look over your shoulder every day, you worried about this, that, and the third, you don't know, like, you're dealing with this every day. And the depression part, I think, came because I was also lost too. And they say a man without a purpose, he's not even really a man. He don't know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? And you definitely can't lead nobody else, because you can't lead yourself. It's like you waking up every day trying to get out of this situation you're in, and you don't know where to start. And I think that when I found the name for it, that helped me understand that it was something that I could fix. And I would have to be willing and brave enough to step in and fix it. And I tell people all the time, you know, I got a lot of my guys I talk to, like, therapy helped me out a lot. You know what I'm saying? But that was the thing. I can afford it now. So why wouldn't I? You know what I'm saying? Whatever it may cost. And I you know, I got some of my guys, like, I'm not telling nobody what I'm going through. But once you start to go back and start to figure out why these things affect you, why you feel this way, it's like you get into this space of you're learning yourself, you're getting confidence in certain areas, you're learning how to not, like, you know, where I came from, you know, the most aggressive, violent person is the one who everybody follows.
Oh, I'm glad I let that play to the end. Because in the hood, people do follow the most aggressive person, the person that seems to have the most power, the person that is most dominant, most influential. And that person may not even be the person that is looking out for your best interest. They're looking out for their own interest, but you interested in them because they look like they got the most power. You know, I wrote down what he was talking about. And I want to present this to y'all in closing of the podcast. It's 2 hours, 49 minutes, and 30 seconds right now. I've been on here dolo. Longest podcast I ever did by myself, 2 hours and 40 minutes. But I want to talk about what Jeezy was saying. You know, coming from the streets, a lot of us operate in this realm. We become numb when we can't figure it out, and we just exist. We try to figure it out, but it's hard to figure it out. We just numb to the pain. You know, we deal with scarcity because we don't know what tomorrow brings. We live life with uncertainty because this money is here now, but it may not be here tomorrow. I listen to a lot of these young rappers that is in their feelings, and they live based upon how they feel at the moment. We deal with anxiety. We anxious all day long because, you know, something could happen to mom, something could happen to daddy, something could happen to somebody who loved me the most. And I don't know what tomorrow brings. We always deal with depression, and a lot of us are living life without a purpose. And that lets you know that you need to speak with somebody because you're dealing with mental health issues. Real talk. So you salute the young Jeezy and the Pivot Podcast. Real talk, dope discussion, dope conversation. I appreciate them brothers, man. Real talk, I really do appreciate them brothers. Great camaraderie, great conversation. Thank y'all for tuning in to my show. Most definitely, thank y'all. Y'all far too kind. Far too kind. This week was chaos. I'm gonna leave y'all with a record, man, to relax and vibe out to. This Luther Vandross, man, never too much. We're about to get up off of this thing, man.
I got your love. You need to look no further. Don't you know that? Don't you know that? After my love, you'll never need another. Don't you know that? Don't you know that? I don't make no promises I can't keep, and I promised myself that I'd love you forever. How many times must I say that for you to understand? Yeah, don't you know that I love you so? Baby, don't you know that I love you so? Don't you know? Without a doubt, you are my sweetest inspiration. Don't you know that? Don't you know that? I'm always down for anything that you say. Don't you know that? Don't you know that? I love you so, yeah. I really love you, don't you know, yeah. Don't you know that? Oh, don't you know that? I really, really do, yeah. I'm really so in love with you, yeah. I used to doubt every girl that I'd meet. I thought that nobody could knock me off my feet. But you are the one who made my heart bell ring. And that's why I'm sure that this is the real thing, yeah. Don't you know that I love? Don't you know who he is? Oh, don't you know that I love? Don't you know, oh yeah. Don't you know that I love? Don't you know? You say, don't you know? Don't you know? I bet $1 million that you know. Don't you
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.